So, ladies, how do you feel about giving men flowers, and men, how do you feel about receiving flowers?
I love it. I don't have a problem with giving at all. I feel like they should receive it if they are if they're confident enough in their masculinity to receive it. Some men are not, but I don't have a problem giving flowers.
I agree with
I
that. And what's so crazy is I just seen the video. I think it was NLE Chopper, whatever his name is. He gave Lil Wayne this beautiful bouquet of roses, basically telling him, like, I appreciate everything you did for the game. Like something of that nature. That was beautiful. That was thoughtful. It's nothing wrong with giving them flowers if they like it.
Mm.
Latoya just took the words out of my mouth. I was kind of going to say the same thing. I don't think anything's wrong with it, but it's about if they would appreciate it, because sometimes we love people or give things to people that we would want to receive and not necessarily they want. So if that is his love language and he's receptive to that and can appreciate it, then I don't see the issue or the problem.
Okay. Okay.
I feel,
Go for it, D.
But on the same thing, if it doesn't do anything for him, real quick, Damien, if it doesn't do anything for him and he's gonna be like, oh, okay, that was nice, and you're gonna get that kind of reaction, then give him what he could really appreciate and apart.
yeah, I'm thinking that being that they're rappers and there's that whole saying, give them their flowers while they can smell them. I think that was more probably the play on it. But me as a man, from a woman, I think I had it happen like last year for my birthday, and I thought that was dope. Like I got some flowers sent to me just from somebody on Clubhouse, and I was like, oh, that was nice because nobody else sent me a damn thing. But I think if
Yeah,
my
I was gonna
son or
say
my
that.
sisters, but if my son or my sisters or somebody I was dealing with sent it to me, yeah, I don't know how I would feel if Broadway just came and said, here's some roses, D. I mean, I'd be like, hold that, just hold those, give them to your girl or something.
So again, not so much about rappers, right? But just you in a relationship with somebody and they give you flowers, right? How do you feel about ladies giving your man flowers? And men, how do you feel about receiving flowers by way of your significant other? That's more so the vein I was speaking in, but I understand what Toya was talking about because NLE Chopper gave Wayne the flowers. And right, respectfully so, because Wayne is Wayne.
Oh yeah, I gave it for his birthday last year, my boyfriend. So yeah, he took it. He liked it. He said it was the first time he ever received it, but I was like, wow, okay.
Wow. Wow. Ace, how you feel about receiving flowers, King, from your queen?
Even not a problem with that. Men deserve to be showered too, so why not?
I respect it. I respect it. I think I think a lot of people, sometimes men they feel emasculated. Like I'm not getting my nails done, my toes done. I'm not. Don't give me no flowers. Like they too tough. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I'll be a little bit confused by that because sometimes, I think it means something different when a man gives a woman flowers. How we present the flowers to the woman, and when women present us with the flowers, I think that it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's slightly different. And what I mean by slightly different, what up, Sean? I see you, Trey. I'm gonna get to that in a second. What I mean by different is it's not it might be few and far in between where she offers you flowers. You get what I'm saying? Well, whereas for men, it's not on a weekly thing, but it's more frequent than what women may give us flowers. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's nothing wrong with receiving flowers as a man. My lady recently, over the weekend, I'll get into that. What up, Sean? I see Benawar down there. What up, Electrifying?
What up, what up, what up? Good to see you back, man.
Yes, sir. Good. Yes, sir. Good to be seen and be back, beloved. So let's do this. I figured it would be important, because a lot of things going on out here in the media spaces. And, I think flowers and this is me, I dedicate this podcast. I'm dedicating this podcast to everybody that's in this room and everybody that's been supporting us for the last 6 years. Tap in and let's start this podcast off the right way. You get what I'm saying? Mike. Mike, 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 Mike. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway Podcast. Greetings and salutations to you all. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway Podcast, where the situations matter more than the relationships. Perspectives will be respected by everybody, period. And if this is your first time tapping in with Live on Broadway Podcast, we ask that you like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. We ask that you tap in with us and get in tune with everything that we doing on YouTube. Live on Broadway the Giant, excuse me. Tap in with me, IM_Broadway on Instagram and everywhere else on social media. Definitely on Twitter, tap in with me. I share some of my casual thoughts in that platform all the time. We ask that everybody, please keep the profanity to a very minimum. I get it. Sometimes you just want to drop that and you want to say it. Go ahead and say it, but let's curve our words and let's be more intentional with how we're delivering our point, because we definitely wanna tap in and be more deliberate, more concise with our verbiage and whatnot. So shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to the Giants on YouTube. I see you, Terica. I see you, Ali. I see you, Triz. I see everybody tapping in with us. Shout out to everybody on Clubhouse with me. I got my guy DWI Music, Allison, Dr. Brittany, respectfully. Shout out to Toya, Shantae, my guy Ace, Sean. What up, though? Greetings and salutations to the Giants. My name is Broadway the Giant. If it's your first time around these parts, I identify as an accountability coach, right? A lot of times we move in these spaces and it's very hard in relationships to hold ourselves accountable, right? But how I look at it is our significant others are imaging. They see us from a perspective that we perhaps don't see ourselves from. So they sometimes say things to us. Excuse me, like somebody saying, did he just burp? Anyway, sometimes they see us through a viewpoint that, a focal point that we aren't able to see ourselves, and they hear things the same. So I think it's very important. One of the key elements of any strong and lasting relationship, I would think that accountability is very important. So if this is your first time or your last time tapping in with us, we like to make people stand in front of the hard work, which is unfortunately themselves, right? Me included. I'm not exempt from any of this. Season 6, shout out, and shout out. Live on Broadway Podcast. And this season, we are identifying our mission statement is let's just find the solution. Because it's very easy to point out the problem, right? We do that a lot. We point out the problem and say, this is wrong, that is wrong. But what about the solution? Don't point out the problem if you can't identify the solution or give me ways of how to get to the solution, right? So we are joined today by, we got a friend of the show, Dr. Brittany. You know, her first time, but definitely not my first time, definitely not our first time in each other's spaces. Shout out to you, Dr. Brittany.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, it's a pleasure for you to be here, at least, you know, for us in the viewership. So shout out to you. Man, there's so many ways to go about this, right? And I'm rolling up my sleeves on this one because if you haven't, this is season 6, okay? And there's a lot that's been going on. I felt like episode 600, I was a little bit weak, a little bit, you know, trying to get the wind beneath my feet for this podcast. And I came back kind of sluggish. But tonight, I'm back with the shits and the smoke. We're going to play some videos, I promise you. But tonight, we're going to slow walk this dog with the topic at hand that's pent up to the top. 30 plus waiting 3 months before having sex is childish. If you're 30 plus, what are you? I got my sister in here. Shout out to Ruby. Happy birthday, baby girl. If you're 30 plus, what are you doing waiting 3 months before having sex? I have a few hot takes. I feel as though I got Mr. Let Go over my right shoulder. He's saying women are childish. And this might be one of the reasons why. We're going to unpack that in a moment. Tap in with us live on Broadway Podcast. Let's get this show on the road. Are women that wait 3 months before having sex childish? I'm coming to you first. Latoya, tap in with me. It's about us right now, girl. Where you going? Let me see what's happening with Allison. Allison, are women that wait 3 months? 3 months. You're over 30. At this point, you're realizing everything that your mom told you about having sex is a lie. Wake that up.
Wake that up.
Allison?
Yeah. I mean, I think it just depends on their morals, the individual morals and beliefs. I feel like honestly, if you give it up within a day of meeting a person, it could last forever. I feel like if you wait, it could last forever. So it's subjective, and it is definitely based upon the person, the male, his character, and if it is in alignment with how you feel about the future. Sometimes, there have been times when a good time happens to be forever. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes a good time is just a good time. So it just depends.
When was the last time you had a good time? Hello? This thing work? Hello? 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 Allison, what happened to your mic? I did not mute you. Hello? Why are you running? No? Nobody? Anyway. Anyway, because here's the thing, right? We're choosing our words. We're being very deliberate with our words. So the way that she just worded that, I know when it came out another sort of different way. If she would have just had the F bombs and the B's and the just went rampant, right? So we're gonna digress. Tap in with us. Greetings and salutations to who we got up here. I got D with me. I got Miss Zimbabwe. Tap in with us, Queen. Would you ever, how old are you, Queen? Let's start there. Miss Zimbabwe. Yeah, how old are you?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. Am I saying your name right?
Yes.
Okay.
22.
You're 22.
Well, turning 22.
Oh. She's a baby. So you're turning.
I don't think waiting 3 months for sex is childish.
That's something a child would say. Hello?
Well, no, but just giving it away for no reason, it's like kind of stupid too. So just opening your legs and just sleeping with any guy, that's kind of like a waste of time, no?
You see, and this is what...
So are you telling women over 30 to do that? That's childish. You're telling them to act like teenagers and just sleep around, so...
No, see, and there lies where a narrative gets created, right?
The fuck?
That's where a narrative gets created, because we're not saying that you're just randomly sleeping with anybody. We're saying that if you feel I'm just saying that, like, you can feel there's times where people feel a connection and they'll just hold out looking at the clock, saying that it hasn't been 3 months yet. And you'll feel a connection and you'll feel like it's time and you just deliberately hold back on it. That's childish.
Well, if she can wait, that shows that she has sexual, like, constraint. So, like, she doesn't act on her urges. I think that's pretty mature.
Who does that show it to?
Huh? Well,
who does that show it to?
So
to her?
Yeah, self-discipline. I think it's
to
really
the man
good
that don't show us nothing.
A person to have self-discipline. So
that doesn't show discipline. That just shows that you're holding out to us. You might be not holding out to someone else, is the way we look at it.
Wouldn't you trust a girl that can hold out? I would.
That's a whole other question.
I would trust a dude that doesn't just go around like trying to sleep with any girl the first opportunity that he gets, right? So if he shows self-discipline, I would find that impressive.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's where what we're challenging. It's not holding out. You're thinking of it as he's holding out and he's showing discipline when he could be sleeping with somebody else, just not you. And so what are you really saying?
Wake that up.
If he's sleeping with someone else and not me, well, I guess I'll just find someone else then.
But how would you know?
Exactly.
I think you just have a gut feeling, to be
Here we go with
honest.
the gut. Okay.
So you have a gut feeling. How do you ever get in a relationship with anybody if your gut feeling is so accurate? That is not a good person.
Well, I think it's impossible to vet a person, to be honest. Because in order to vet someone, you would just assume that people don't lie. And people just lie all the time. So I wouldn't know.
Well, vetting liars is hard. You're right, absolutely right. Learning, being mature enough not to lie and being brave enough not to lie is something that a lot of people don't have. And when you're lying about, I'm just going to wait 90 days just to see if somebody something, you're still lying to yourself because it's not the sex that you holding out on. You just holding out on the 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 idea that that's going to be better.
I think
Mm.
people hold out because they don't want a guy to hit it and quit it.
But
But
hold on,
after three
So if
months, he
she
could
hold on.
can't
hit
wait
it and
90
quit it.
days,
But see. So here's the thing, right? I like how Sean referenced that point of view, right? Who are you trying to show that to, him or yourself? Because as a man, you can't be showing that to us, right?
I would think you're showing it to yourself. That's why I said self-discipline.
Right, but then you also said hit it and quit it. 9 months, if we hit it and quit it, it's still hit it and quit it. After 9 months, 1 year, 1 day.
Great point. I got D up here with me. Freeze frame on that. Sean in Zimbabwe. I got D up here with me. Tap in with me, D. Greetings, beloved. DWI, you with us, King? We can't hear you, beloved. D, we can't hear you, King.
All right, give me 1 second.
There you go. I hear you now, loud and clear.
Oh, you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought I was still on the mic inside Clubhouse. What's up?
So the question is you had a conversation that's going back and forth between Sean and Ms. Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
30 plus and waiting 3 months before having sex. Childish, if you ask me.
So,
how do you feel about that?
What I did hear at the same time, I heard the age gap between Sean, not too much of my man Sean saying that he's older, but he's older than what she is, and so her experience and the way that she's moving makes sense. So how she's moving, and that's respectable. However, I do like the pushback that was given. That how would you know? Like how do you know somebody's holding off for you outside of just expecting that them to keep it real? And why would you want a grown man that's been getting his thing going for over 20-something years to be sitting around waiting to find out if he's going to stay or not? Because if you're worried about him leaving, that means something ain't right. That means you just know you're not throwing it right. So you got to work on that part first so you can have that snapback. So that not you, Ms. Zimbabwe. I'm just saying anybody that feels that way, so that they can you can hit it and keep it and not hit it and quit it. Because I would like to think that whenever I lay down with somebody that I like, that it's going to be a lot more enjoyable because I actually like you, and that is going to seal the deal. If there was any other doubt, that's the way I look at it. So if you're holding that part off, and then now when we get together, and I'm not really feeling you, like your vibe is not right, then that throws off everything, and I will change after that. It's inevitable that I'm going to friend zone you.
So are you suggesting that you have sex, get it out the way, then see who a person really is?
Yeah, let's just see what happens. And I'm not just saying like you meet somebody the first night. That's what you need to do. However,
but don't women usually date multiple men at once? Like,
I don't know
when
what
she's
women
like
do.
going into the dating market, she's going on dates with more than one dude, right? So she can't just sleep with all of them. She'll probably wait out and vet.
She can if she wanted
to.
Look at all the dudes she's dating and just be like, maybe I should go for him.
So wait, so Miss Z, right? I'm just gonna call you Miss Z. It's easier to roll off my tongue. Pause. There's nothing wrong with a woman, right, dating multiple men, right? Do your thing. Just as much as there's nothing wrong with a man having sex and he might not be having sex with you, but he may still be having sex with someone else, right? You might be checking for him, or excuse me, while you're dating other people, he might be having sex with other people. Y'all not having sex with each other, and you're making him wait. So he doesn't owe you that respect of giving you his body or having to explain who he's sleeping with outside of you, because y'all not sleeping together.
But you guys are making this all focus on sex. Maybe she's holding out because some women just would rather have an emotional connection first before having a sexual connection.
It
So
takes
maybe it
3 months.
could take her. Yeah, who knows? Like, you never know a person. Like, people have been married for like years and they don't know their partner. You would maybe she just wants to get to know the person more.
Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from that. Because what you saying, that point right there, Ms. Z, very true, right? All I'm suggesting is what happens in the moments of there is a connection, right? What happens in the moments of you're holding back, not because you feel like it's not time yet. You feel like it's time, but you just still holding back. I believe that there's a lot of women out there that move under that move like that.
Wow, Broadway. I don't want to make it like we're saying like that's a bad idea. The immature idea is that it's a time frame specific. It's not about holding back for a reason, and that reason hasn't come about. It's about having a specific time frame. To your point, and that is makes no sense because I said it before and I'll say it again. It could take a day or even a whole year. We still got the skin, so we really don't care. That's the mentality of a lot of men. If that's their intention, it's their intention. If their intention is to be with you and get to know you and make you their wife, that's a whole different way that we approach it. But you ain't gonna distinguish the difference by holding out. Is my point.
I think that's a great point. To that
How
you
can you not distinguish
wait, just hold that thought, Ms. Z. To that point that Sean just made, Shantae, you say what? Greetings, Queen.
Hi, what's up? Yeah, I don't want to know what I'm going to say, but I think it don't really. I just think it depends on the individual and like what they are looking for or want, or maybe it's a spiritual journey. It may be. It's not childish if it's reasons that are aligned with that individual's morals, values, and principles and core
Name one
principles.
good one.
I'm not trying to. Who said that?
Damien said, name one good one.
I didn't say it was me. I just said you asked me a question. Okay, so I'm not vouching for these.
Shout out, Tay. Shout
out.
I'm just messing with you, Tay.
The bomb out there and says the fuck. Like I didn't say hello. I said that it's not necessarily childish. It's quite childish to
the fuck.
It's quite childish to judge that individual for wanting to take their time. That's childish.
But wait. Again, wanting to take your time, Shantae, wanting to take your time is not being challenged. Putting a time limit on it, like what that is.
Well, I agree with you on that.
And not identifying that, right. And
you can't put a specific time frame on anything. Chemistry is chemistry. Because everyone has been in different relationships in this room, right? Some have started off more faster.
I've only ever been in one relationship. Hello?
So it is what it is. So I agree with that.
The 9-month rule.
Don't let me push back on that.
9 weeks.
Chemistry. I won't.
D, your mic sound real bass heavy. Go ahead.
That's my Barry White. I got you though.
Can I speak?
Please, because I'm gonna throw it to Dr. Brittany in a second because she's sitting back like the Mac and just watching, listening and observing the conversation. I'm gonna throw it to you in a second, Dr. Brittany. Tap in with us, Allie.
So I'm hearing what everyone is saying, and I agree on everything. And I think, if we're talking about the 90-day rule, then I think that is more geared towards the fact that it is, I guess, statistically shown that a person's representative comes out after 6 months. So that being said, by being intimate with a person within 90 days, then it is characteristically, it shows that during that time, by being intimate, that a person may or may not change who they are. So you want the person to be very authentic, and you do not want your decision to be with them to be based upon sex. You want it to be based upon who this person truly is. And if in fact they do change, you don't want it to be motivated by the fact that you had sex with them. You want it to be motivated by the fact that they're just not into you, right? So I think that's where it comes in, the 90-day versus, knowing a person changing after quote unquote 6 months because the representative drops off.
All right. But before I go to Dr. Brittany, let me wake it up. Because is it fair to say if you making me wait, like what the room said, if you 30 plus and waiting 3 months to have sex, keep it at this point, right? Because let's wake it up. If I'm the man and I'm courting you, right, for 3 months, and not saying that it has to be a cash in, it's a exchange, right? But now what happens if I'm saying, yo, I'm not spending no money or doing anything for 3 months neither? We just gonna have these conversations. We gonna have these phone conversations. We gonna FaceTime. You get me? I'm gonna send you. I might send you some flowers. Shout out to the small talk segment. You get what I'm saying? I might do some very small and minimalist things because it's 3 months. We talking 3 months. 3 months. So you're gonna get all this good phone conversation. You ain't gonna get no nothing, no gifts, no nothing. So that when we do see each other, guess what? You effing guessed it. I'm panicking, and we better be doing the wobble. You get what I'm saying? Wobble, baby, wobble, baby. We listen. We better be getting to it. Getting to it. What we wait? I'm trying to electric slide in that thing. I'm trying to kick and play and kick it. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to hit the jump back and kick it back. Listen, what are we doing? If we waiting 3 months. Huh, Dr. Z? We waiting 3 months. You on your spiritual journey. Okay, I ain't gonna knock your hustle. You praying to Allah, Buddha. You reading the Torah. I ain't knocking your hustle, baby. But guess what? Benjamin Franklin is gonna remain in my pocket until you start, until we, because listen, I'm gonna meet energy.
What is this, punishment, Broadway? Because she's going to be talking to somebody else too. So you can't
hold
fairness. For fairness.
I'm not saying it's not at all. It's not punishment. It's saying that, all right, cool. This is what you're doing. These are your standards, and this is where you at. Okay, cool. So I'm going to rise to the same occasion. Because a lot
are dating multiple people, so
I'm not knocking you.
Yeah, and dine somewhere else. So
date who you want to date. I ain't knocking you. Go ahead, date. Cause my date and definition of date gonna look different from your date and definition of date. Wake that up, Broadway. Easy offer Broadway. Dr. Brittany, tap in with us, please. Can you civilize some of this Broadway brain toxicity? Hello, Dr. Brittany, are you there with us?
What's up, Broadway? Well, first of all, shout out to Ms. Z. I love that she is a young lady, and it sounds like she already knows the value of her body.
It's okay to be childish, yeah.
No, that's
what is the value, though? What is that value?
It's called maturity. And y'all are tripping on here. First of all, I feel like if a woman wants to hold out for 3 months, that's her prerogative. I mean, in relationships as women, we're hoping to get chosen. We're waiting on you guys for marriage. We're hoping that you're father material. And so there's so much in a relationship that is out of our control. And I feel like for some women, one of the reasons that we hold out is because it's the only leverage that we have. But also some women just want to know, like, are you really down for me? Like, is it really about us? Is it about me? Like, are you into me? And sometimes you need to see people in space and time in order to know that. But here's another point I want to make, and here's the biggest one, is that you guys be anxious to have sex, but stats have come out to say that only 20% of women are even orgasming with sex. So what are you guys
back to this stat.
to do?
Oh, boy.
Wake it up.
Ooh. Well, we didn't say that we was going to get you orgasm. We said we wanted to have sex. Did you not hear that?
Wow. Well, hold on, because that hold on. I respect that, because the point of doing anything is to get somewhere. The point of any journey is to get somewhere. I'm not sure I would personally identify, or could you? I'm not going to say me, easy off of Broadway. What up, though, collectors? I get to you in a moment, King. Could we identify sex as being good if you didn't have an orgasm? Wake that up. Dr. Brittany first. Easy off for everything else. I love when we find ourselves in these peculiar segue conversations. Dr. B first. is it a good sexual exchange if there's no orgasm at hand?
No, what are we doing?
Okay, well,
That's not what I heard,
Dr.
Button.
Dr. B, I got to ask you this. I was joking when I said that, but if you holding out, you ain't having no orgasm.
You don't know what I'm doing.
Woo!
You don't know my
Wait
life.
that up, Dr. B! She said you don't know what I'm doing respectfully. Easy off for Dr. B. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that shit. She said, Mo. All right. Wait, easy off for Clubhouse. I got my guy, the collectors up here. Greetings and salutations to you, King. Wrong drop. Greetings and salutations to you, King. We're having a conversation, and I'm gonna start backwards. Is it considered good sex, or are you fulfilled if you aren't having an orgasm as a man?
Yeah, I've been busting nuts my whole fucking life. I probably never had an orgasm. Won't you keep busting back to back?
No. All right. So we going somewhere because this is a segue to a segue.
I'm about to say, like, what's considered an orgasm?
An orgasm is way different for men than it is for women. Okay.
I never had one, so I won't miss it.
Okay.
I won't miss it. I've been busting nuts all my life, and them shit's been satisfying.
Okay.
So when I catch that orgasm, then I'll be able to speak on it. But I can't speak on it because I've never experienced it.
Wake that up.
Knowingly experienced it.
Wake that up.
I've had some bomb ass sex though. Thank you all the women out there.
Mm-hmm.
You dig?
So let's work backwards. So
let's go.
If you 30 plus and waiting 3 months to have sex, I'm personally like a lot of things our parents told us as children was a lie. They just told us these things to protect us because they was guarding our childhood innocence, right? As they should, right? The fairy, the Santa Claus, the fairy, the tooth fairy. Thank you, D. Yada yada yada. You know, having sex and before this age, and I like what Dr. B brought up about that's the only leverage that a lot of women have, right? So.
Damn, that's it.
So I ask you, collectors, is waiting 30 plus? If you're 30 plus and you're waiting 3 months before having sex, is that childish?
Nah. If you could entertain a person, nah.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day,
what about if you feel like there's a connection there and you're just holding it back?
Connection there because niggas make me nervous when they start acting like they can't wait for pussy. What you gonna do if you locked up? What you gonna do for the pandemic? What you gonna do if niggas gotta ice up and go to war on some G shit? Like the men gotta go to war. How men used to go to war 100 years ago. Niggas don't get no pussy when they out at war. I ain't trying to go no 365 days, but I'm saying if you can't hold my attention for 90 days, that's kind of scary because what if I had a business? What if I had a job to where I had to remove myself from you for 90 days? What if I got in prison? What if I had to do anything that? What if my woman had some kind of surgery and we can't have sex for 90 days? Now I'm running around fucking off everything that was perfect.
But wait. In all fairness, that's different, right? To you knowing that.
Even to wait. I'm just saying, like 90 days without sex. If you over 30 and you can't go 90 days without sexual intercourse driving you mentally crazy, you should be able to do that.
You got a problem.
You should be able to do that.
But wait, I feel like the narrative. All right, so I don't know if I phrased the question wrong or if you're answering something that's different from what I'm asking. Because what I'm saying is not that you guys have been having sex, right? If you've been having sex and then you want to wait 90 days for whatever reason, hold on. Let me just land this point.
Right. I just feel like if she could entertain me, if I met a female, say I ran into a female today, we're just talking in general.
Yeah.
And me and Shorty started talking, and I'm feeling her vibe. And she like, yo, we grown. I know that we both doing this and that, whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm not ready to go in it like that with you. You know what I'm saying? So, actually, in my opinion, when you're just talking to somebody, y'all don't have no, unless y'all decided that y'all were in a relationship without sex, you don't have any anything to restrain you from not going out and doing what you want to do.
Somewhere else.
Right, but the meter is running though. The meter is
now
starting.
if y'all agree and the person can entertain you, I feel like a person should be able to entertain you for 90 days without sex, unless that was just a person that you were just made for physically. The right person, I think, can entertain you for 90 days without sex. And I feel like man or woman entertained by the right person, intrigued by the right person, carried by the right person for 90 days, I think it could work for the right person, right?
Okay. I beg to differ.
I don't think you could generalize that.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. D, you was tapping it. Wait. Hold on. Shout out. Shout out to Trey for buying the badge. Tap in. Make sure you guys are showing your social currency and your financial ones too. Give me a cup of coffee, goddamn it. Spend a lot of money on building this studio. Make sure you tap in and show your social currency. Hit that like button on YouTube. If you on Clubhouse, scroll to the top, hit that link and hit that like button, please, and thank you. Hit that like button on YouTube. Tap in with us. We got DWI up here. Then I'm gonna throw it to Benoit because we got a few new faces up here, and I want to get it from the Giants. Tap in with me.
The queen is in the building.
You know what?
I'm gonna clean it up.
You want to go after Benny or you want to go before?
Yeah, no. Let me just clean it up because I don't know what she's gonna say. But what I'm gonna say is I agree. Like when Doc did Doc say about that that's all women have, that's leverage.
Yes.
Which I don't feel all of this stuff I've been hearing on social media about everything that women bring to the table. I would not think that sex is just their one trick pony now. But and I would like to say for a guy that's very picky and selective and doesn't need to jump in and out of something every day, that would not be the selling point. But I think to the conversation and the topic that you're talking about is people setting a time before they even get in the room with you to know what the vibe is. They just like a boom, first date. I'm not having sex with you for 30 days. I've had that. 30 days, 90 days. I've had people say that back when I was younger, and I was just like, damn, like that escalated quick. Like I didn't even say, but then it wound up not going there, that taking that long. So it's like you put your foot in your mouth, mama. You should have just held it down. But anyway, not too much on me. Let's see what Benoit got to say.
1 second. Shout out to the collectors. I appreciate that badge, beloved. Big love and energy. Thank you, King. I appreciate it. Tap in. Benoit. One mic on you, Queen. One mic on the Queen, Benoit, because she got something to say.
And I agree, Trey, what you just typed in the chat.
Hey, everybody. Peace to the room. I just want to say, ladies, most of the time, these dudes don't even like you like that. So I say just keep your legs closed. Soul ties are a real thing. And a lot of times he's only courting you and applying pressure because he just wants to smash. A lot of times these dudes will complain about how easy it was to smash and how little effort they put into being intimate with you. But at the same time, when you create boundaries and take your time, they complain that you're dangling the punani in their face. So in the bigger scheme of things, do what is right for you because they're giving advice that ultimately benefits them. And you need to make sure that you protect your body and your aura. You only have one. Most of these dudes aren't even marriage-minded in this day and time right now. So just take your time and allow yourself to spend quality time with this person. And over time, you will get to see their character and pick up on certain nuances. And then you can determine whether or not you want to be intimate with this person. Sex is very invasive and for you as a woman because you're receiving. And if you feel like you need to create a certain time frame to really just get to know that person, who it is that you're dealing with, then just do that. You don't need to make a big announcement and tell him you're doing a 90-day trial. Just take your time and get to know that person. Ladies, step your punani management up. Okay, I park.
Ooh-wee.
It's about to get spicy. Let's tap in.
Ooh, can I wake something up?
Wake it up.
Men,
Oh shit.
Don't
Oh
let
shoot.
women,
What's up?
Hold
don't
on, Nick.
let women think that their punani is the only value. Your seed and your giving sex is
Woo,
just as valuable.
woo,
Let's
woo.
let's
Man,
Okay,
let's wake
now,
that
Wake
up.
that
moderation.
up. Let's
I'm com-
go.
coming
Kitty
in. I'm
boys for
coming in
two.
late.
Hold on,
Yes,
Nick,
wake
Nick,
that
Nick,
up,
Nick,
my
Nick.
brother.
Hold on, Nick. Hold on, Nick. Nick, one mic on Sean. Go
He's
ahead, Sean.
talking true.
Man, because while I understand the value of, and like I said, I was joking, but I've held out just as much because I am looking for something more than just sex. And when you sitting there holding your sex like it's such a priority, you're not realizing how unappealing and unattractive that is. If you're holding it out specifically to get to know somebody, like I just suggested I was as well, so be it. But if you're
Mm.
doing it for 90 days because Steve Harvey, and I know that everybody don't listen to Steve Harvey, doctor, I understand that, but the root of it, that 90-day rule, came from Steve Harvey. He popularized it. And if you're doing it for that reason, yeah, that's childish.
Whew.
Wake that up.
Hello.
What up, Nick? What up, David?
What up with it, Broadway?
So we having a conversation and we got a lot to talk about because I'm rolling up my sleeves and we got a few topics to talk about tonight. So we're gonna do this for a couple more minutes and we're gonna talk about some things. Shout out to Trey because she did wake it up on YouTube and she said, "What about soul ties? I'm not collecting those like infinity rings." She not collecting bodies like infinity rings. I'm picking up what she putting down. Same thing what Benoit said. Now everybody's saying something, right? They're adding value to everything that they're saying because what Benoit said is true, right? A lot of times men don't know if they coming or going, respectfully, right? So my energy how I'm looking at it is, what about when they're, I got you, King. I got you, King. I got you. A lot of times men don't know if they coming or going. But the only thing I give pushback to is the moments when you do know and you do like them and you're operating under this constraints of a time. Tom don't. You can feel a connection with somebody in 3 months. I mean, in 1 day. I'm being extreme. You can feel a connection with somebody in 2 weeks, and you can feel a connection with somebody in 120 days. You know what I mean? So I'll just say that because I know the Giants want to hear from you. Or Nick, tap in with me, Nick, and then we'll circulate it. What up, though, Mr. Let Go?
Yeah, I don't really know where y'all at right now.
So let me give you a reset, Nick. We having a conversation. 30 plus and waiting 3 months before having sex is childish. Broadway said it. It's childish.
I 100%. Now, see, what I would say is this my whole thing, Broadway. With the whole weight game is, it all depends on the person. At the end of the day, see, what I had told a couple chicks before, because like I've been through this scenario before, like, you know what I'm saying. I'm 41, so I didn't been through this scenario before. This ain't my first rodeo. So what happens is, at the end of the day, if you come to me and say, look, I'm waiting 90 days, and you telling me that, now you playing a game. If you do that because you're not feeling comfortable,
it's
that's
different.
Something different. It's different. But if you telling me, then now you playing games.
Wake
because
that
like,
up.
look, why are you telling me that you waiting 90 days? You could just wait 90 days and you just be like, look, I don't feel comfortable, because that's what you're doing.
That's what Benoit said, and I agree with that.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yes.
But don't come to me and tell me, look, I'm waiting 90 days, because now I think you're playing games at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wait 90 days, just wait 90 days and don't say nothing. Like, look, I don't feel comfortable, whatever. You don't gotta tell me about it.
Yes.
Because I'm going to automatically assume you playing games at this point.
Great
you know
point.
What I'm saying? And that's where I'm at with it.
Great point. And Benoit said that in her own way too. She said you could just keep it to yourself. You ain't gotta share that, right?
Keep it cute on mute.
Keep it cute on mute.
Hello?
I got some stuff to talk about, and not final thoughts, but What you got to say to that? Let's wrap up this segment, this part of the pod with Dr. B. Doc, how you feel about it?
Well, I love all the perspective that was put forth. I really, I think the guys are making a point. I think that, if the days are solely based on what you've heard from someone else and it's not genuine, I can understand the pushback. But as women, we reserve the right to make decisions about our bodies, and as long as you're confident in the decision that you make, I think that should be the end of the conversation. Seriously, but I love the way this is going. I love the perspective that was put forth.
I love it. I love it.
Men have some dick control. Stop being so thirsty, so that these women stop thinking that it's all about them. And Leash just said expecting sex is childish, and that's my homegirl Leash right there. But we're not even jacking that right now, Leash.
And you shouldn't even be expecting sex as an adult. It comes with like whenever we get it cracking. So just like everybody's saying, you want to get to meet a person.
Yeah,
it's all good, but you ain't got to throw that timeline out there.
Yeah,
right.
I'm rolling.
And I think there's some men that actually be thinking that they're supposed to smash on the first day because they brought dinner. And I think that's the exact opposite of what we're talking about. And that would be the rebuttal for a woman to feel a certain way. But we're not talking about that. We just talking about we got out the car going to get dinner. And you say, I ain't having sex with you after the date. It's like, yo, we didn't even catch a vibe yet. Like, how you know what you want to do?
What does sex have to do about this, right?
But why is she even saying about I'm not having sex with you? Because nobody's saying, like, he didn't say that she got to have sex with you. So why are you even bringing that up? That means that's where your head is at. His head might not even have been there. You taking it to where you think it's going, and he's not even saying nothing about no sex.
Well, in fairness to the women, a lot of times they ran across a lot of men that was their intention, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to be real. Let's be real all the way around.
Sure.
And to say that, but on the other hand, a lot of women fall for those guys that are full of it. They're looking for Mr. Feel Good instead of Mr. Real Good. So and they go ahead and fall victim to it. And so when we're saying what we're saying it to help protect you, sisters, to identifying the differences between the guys that you admire and the men that are actually genuine with what they're trying to get you, but you often miss them.
Wow. Hold that thought. Sean is on fire. Listen, with that being said, I like to pose you guys a question. I'm going to play a video in support of what I'm saying. What is having a good man worth to you? Because if you're having sex with someone, right, if you're waiting to have sex with someone and things are going and flowing well, before the 3 months, why not indulge in a connection, right? Bonding, right? It's not about just throwing it aimlessly at the wall and seeing where it stick, because then that's what classifies you as a 304. You get what I'm saying? But listen, the question I want to pose to you guys, and I'm gonna play a video. Tap in with us on YouTube. You can see it the way it's meant to be seen. Hit that link up top if you're on Clubhouse. The question I pose to you is, what is having a good man worth to you? What is having a good man worth to you? Live on Broadway podcast. Check us out.
Listen, ladies, we got to make up our minds. You either want a good man or you don't. I see a lot of women saying they want a man of God. They want a man that leads. They want a man that covers. They want a man that provides, and they want a man that protects. But then the moment that man begins to tell you, you know what, you're slipping in your parenthood. You can be better here. This is an area. This is a deficit or something that you said to your child, that you're tearing them down instead of building them up. That a man that calls you out and says, you know what, you're starting to procrastinate on that business, on that degree that you said that you want. I see you going backwards instead of going forward. A man that's trying to lead you to God. A man that's trying to cover you from the things that are going on in the world, and a man that's trying to provide and protect you, a man that's trying to protect you from yourself, because sometimes we're the weapons that's formed against us to prosper. Sometimes our mouth is causing us not to prosper. Sometimes our ways and how we are is causing us not to prosper. Scripture calls a husband, and it tells a husband to love your wives as Christ loved the church, not just to die for you, but that man is trying to live for you. You either want a good man or you don't.
Listen,
we're gonna have a conversation tonight, live on Broadway podcast. Let's go. You either want a good man or you don't. What is having a good man worth to you? I pose the question again. Tap in, live on Broadway podcast.
Not all you ladies speak at one time.
Yo, I just got put onto her because of that video this week, and I am a fan.
Right.
Listen.
So I posed the question, and fellas, before I throw it to the ladies, what's the definition of a good man? Are you a good man? And I'm not talking about by way of what you think. I'm talking about by way of what women have shared with you. Are you a good man? All right, let's ease you off for the self-proclaimed BS. I have a lot of choice words I really want to use right now. But let's just keep it PG. Are you a good man? Not by way of you. I'm coming to you in a second, ladies. Are you a good man? I'm coming to you first. Let me see. Sean, you flew off your mic first, then I'm going to go to David. Tap in, Sean. Are you a good man?
Well, to me, the definition of good is really simple, and that's man and woman. Somebody who's honest. And there's not a lot of honest people out there. Yes, it takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of substance. It takes a lot of heart to be honest, to be able to tell the truth, to be able to accept the truth. So I've been exercising it for some time, deliberately and intentionally. And if, in fact, I find somebody who can exercise it just the same, honesty, and then I'll segue into open and transparency to add on to that. But honesty is a good start.
Yeah. David, tap in with us, King. Are you a good man?
Yeah, peace to the room.
Peace.
I believe, actions speak louder than words. Women have told me I'm a good man based on the actions. That I care for my family. I look out for my mother, my dad. I'm thoughtful. So that's what I've been told from the women that are in my life, and it's because of those actions. So I guess you got to ask them, but most of them say I'm good. Thank you.
I love it.
He said, check my resume. He said, well, ask them.
Right.
Don't ask me, ask them.
Ask them. Ask them. Ace, are you a good man, King?
Yeah, I would believe so. In terms of what are the values of a good man, the most important thing is to, be that protector, provide, and most important thing is, protect the woman emotionally, you know what I mean? Because you got to value that more than anything else in the world. You take care of her, she'll always take care of you, you know what I mean? So for me, a good man has to be pretty much almost everything for that woman, and she will reciprocate that once she senses that you're willing to put yourself on the line for her. And that's what I do for my fiance here, you know what I mean?
I love it. Easy off for DWI and the collectors, because I have a great understanding of what these two individuals are going to say and how they're going to answer this question. So we're going to go to the ladies real quick.
Why you going to silence the black man? Yo, chill. I've been learning. I've been drinking. Listen, I like to go, I'm heavy on the understanding. I'm 80-20, more positive than negative. Just a little bit of ignorance for the people in the back could hear me sometimes, because sometimes, that good guy persona don't get you, to where you want to go. But in my elder years now, I understand a little more. But the rules changed again now. So now it's like, all right, so now I done made myself right for a certain demographic of women. And now, the new demographic, they want some other type of time. And I'm just not about to be flip-flopping all over the place. So I think that, I'm definitely more of a good guy than a bad guy will ever be. And I think just from my past relationships, I've heard more good things about myself, and the things that I had to work on, that I know I had to work on, I've just been working on it myself. So yeah, that's that.
Okay. I know how this is going to go. Collectors, what's happening, King? Because listen,
what's up, King? I mean,
the queens are being very silent. I want you guys to respect their mic when they speak. This is why I gave it to you guys first, because I don't want y'all to fly off. Anyway,
you're allowed to speak though. That's how I know. If I'm gonna be triggered, I'll just go away from the mic. Allison, been a while. Like,
all right, go ahead, collectors. One mic on collectors. Are you a good man, King?
Yeah,
not by way of you, but by way of what you heard from women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely, I get fire reviews.
Not fire reviews.
I get fire reviews. And look, I only been in about 2 serious relationships, so I get judged off of other niggas, women, and all that. I'm talking about my past.
Not you being a professional side
I
nigga.
was being judged off of being a single dude. I was a good dude to these females. Like, oh, I wish she was my man. But it's like this. You know what it be? Happy people need to deal with happy people. Good people need to deal with good people. Because even if you're not perfect for a good shorty, she's still gonna appreciate what you did bring to the table and the good times I did have. And it's hard to, but we got to be honest and we got to be truthful. It gets you way further.
That's what A said.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
once
that's what Sean said.
Once you doing that, you a good dude already. Once you being honest, a woman can't ask nothing more you after you laid out honesty, because everything is for her to accept.
Wow.
I wish it was that easy, but yeah, he right.
So before I throw it to the ladies on Clubhouse, and I'm going to bring a lady up too on Instagram. Hit the button, ladies. Hit the button. I'll bring you up. Terica, shout out to Terica. She said, take accountability. Give him peace. Very feminine, submissive, support him emotionally, spiritually, sexually. That's
heavy on the sexually.
Heavy on the sexually. Tap in with us, ladies. Allison, I'm coming to you first, Queen. Dr. B, if I haven't said so already, feel free to jump in at any time. We yield our mics to you, Queen. You are professional tonight. Tap in with us, Allison. Do women hold themselves to the standard of what they are asking for? Right? So the young lady, she had a few choice words, and she said pretty much in some that you saying that you want a good man, right? But are you willing to do a list of things? In fact, just for the point of what I want to make, I want to bring that video back one time. Live on Broadway podcast. Check it out.
Listen, ladies, we got to make up our minds. You either want a good man or you don't. I see a lot of women saying they want a man of God. They want a man that leads. They want a man that covers. They want a man that provides, and they want a man that protects. But then the moment that man begins to tell you, you know what, you're slipping in your parenthood. You can be better here. This is an area. This is a deficit or something that you said to your child, that you're tearing them down instead of building them up. That a man that calls you out and says, you know what, you're starting to procrastinate on that business, on that degree that you said that you want. I see you going backwards instead of going forward. A man that's trying to lead you to God. A man that's trying to cover you from the things that are going on in the world, and a man that's trying to provide and protect you, a man that's trying to protect you from yourself, because sometimes we're the weapons that's formed against us to prosper. Sometimes our mouth is causing us not to prosper. Sometimes our ways and how we are is causing us not to prosper. Scripture calls a husband, and it tells a husband to love your wives as Christ loved the church, not just to die for you, but that man is trying to live for you. You either want a good man or you don't.
Tap in with us. Tap in with us. Live on Broadway podcast. I throw it to you first, Allie, since you one mic on Allie. Tap in with us, Queen. You either want a good man or you don't. What up, though?
So to answer the question, I have to totally agree. Some women cannot hold themselves accountable. This is why a lot of women tend to covet their neighbors. You don't know what that man who you call her husband is, and you want that. So you're actually manifesting his bullshit into your life.
Wow.
That's number one. For me,
wow.
Yeah, I can hold myself accountable and say that I got myself into some situations where I was not happy at all. And I decided that, listen, I'm not going to take this route. I'm going to do something a little different. And I have who I have, and I'm very, very happy. And he is exactly what I needed and wanted. So there's that.
I felt the passion in the exactly, but I want you to elaborate more on the, you see something from a distance and then you want that, right? You said that. Could you give us a little bit more insight on that? Because I was feeling that.
And did you let him smash in 2 weeks?
Go ahead. When a queen is speaking, DWI, she respected your mic. Go ahead, Allie. Jesus.
So oftentimes we see relationships from the outside looking in.
Sure.
And we don't know exactly what's going on. So, these quote unquote relationship goals with say Ciara and Russell Wilson, just for example, um, you don't know what happens on the inside of their home. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is going on, but he could be beating her behind on a daily basis and coming out to red carpet events, acting like the picture of black love. So in order for you to get what you want, you have to pay attention to yourself and actually manifest it through your own desires, not somebody else's, because she got what she got and she's happy with that, and that's her story to tell. But in order for you to get what you want in your home, you have to clean it up. You have to walk in, and as they say, do the work.
Do
You
the
have to
work.
clean up. You have to clean up your act. You have to be accountable to yourself. You have to walk the walk, and be intentional. Be absolutely intentional, and pray for exactly what it is that you want. As far as a man, do you want a hardworking man? You have to understand that a hardworking man is not going to be home all the time, but if he loves you enough, he will be home for you. He will be setting up a future for you. A praying man, is he going to cover the home? Is he going to take care of the kids? Is he going to protect and provide? These are the
Wake
things.
that
A
up.
faithful man, a man that only has eyes for you, and is loyal and has your back regardless. A lot of times integrity is speaking about somebody when they're not around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is he
Character.
able to
Yeah.
yes, is he able to speak on your behalf and say, oh no, my wife is not going to do that. My husband is going to take care of me.
Yeah.
You understand me? So a lot of times you have to find a person that will do that. So I'm wrapping it up, and I'm saying all this to say, pay attention to your own home, because you don't know what's going on in somebody else's.
Wonderful. Wonderfully said as well. Thank you for that, Allie. I like that. I like that. I think that, and I'm a yield to the rest of the queens in the space. But I think a lot of times, what the young lady said about your mouth, right? Your mouth be blocking your own blessings. You know what, easy off of Broadway. I'm gonna throw it to the ladies. I'll come back with mine at the end. Let me see where we at. Dr. B, how do you feel about what the young lady said?
Well, I like the overall messaging of what she said. I have to be honest. This whole point about talking about women and accountability, I realize that it does have its place, but at some point, as men, you guys have to be accountable for the decisions you're making in women. I don't believe that all women are just like inherently just
Wake
like
that up.
unaccountable. We just want to be out here,
Very
be
true.
reckless and be wild. Like, I just don't feel like that's the vast majority of women. But I do think that that is a good point that is valid to some women, that we do need to be held accountable. And if your man is indeed holding you accountable, you should be open and receptive to that. But I also wanted to bring up the point that, talking about a good man is something that is very subjective. You know what I mean? Because if you ask all of us the same question, like, what is a good man to you? We're all going to have very different answers, right? So you being a good man to one woman may not be transferable to another woman. And it doesn't make you a bad man. It just means that we all value something different. You know what I mean? So, for me, when I think about like a man that
Period,
like
boo.
I'm interested in. I think about a man who's interested in partnership, right? Like real partnership, not dictatorship, not that it's all about you and what you got going on, but consider me in some of the things that's happening as well. But also like your perspective. What is your perspective on life? What are some of the fruits of the labor that you've already put in prior to us meeting each other, right? What is it that we can build together? What is the foundation that's going to be left behind when you and I have departed, right? And the last piece I think about is a plan. Do you have one, right? And if so, what is it? So I think we need to up the ante, especially in our culture, about how we partner with one another, right? And get beyond some of these superficial things that we, put a lot of attention and emphasis on that really has no longevity or even contributes to the longevity of a relationship. So that's how I feel. I think the video was nice. The part that stood out to most was the fact that your husband is meant to die for you. And I don't know if women, if we think about that enough, because that is a really I was having a conversation, a man put it to me that way. And I'm like, I never really thought about it in that degree or that depth or magnitude. But that is a
That's
big
normally the
burden for a
order.
man.
That's normally the order how it happens,
Right.
And,
right?
and us men, we
Oh,
think about it and actually do it pretty regularly. And that's where we have pushback when it's not appreciated or recognized.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what? I just never thought about it, but when he put it to me that way, I was like, yo, it made me. I feel like I already have empathy for men and the things that you guys have to contend with, but it definitely gave me something extra to think about for sure.
Wow, and I'm happy you brought that up because I think that that is something that gets left out quite often, right? Like I'm here to serve and protect. Like if this thing go left, I'm here to lay it all out on the line for you. You get what I'm saying? Um, hmm. I think the part.
But yet they want to hold the box for 30 days and better.
He's clearly triggered.
Just give it up.
He's not gonna let that go. I see he's not gonna let that go.
Oh, man. But in all seriousness, I want to ask you, ladies, it's hard for you guys to even fight for your relationship. Better yet, lay your life down for your man. You'll lay it down for your child, but why won't you lay it down for your man?
Wow, 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 wow. Please stand in front of that one. That's a great question.
Because historically, you guys have shown that you will leave us and your child.
That's not true.
Wait,
That
wait,
is
wait, wait,
absolutely
wait, wait.
true.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
That is
whoa.
Yeah,
absolutely
let's
true.
not do that. Let's not do that. And that's not a true fact.
Actually, historically, wait. Can we go into history?
Hold on. One mic. We can't hear y'all.
We civilized all these motherfuckers. Wait. Don't act like you the savages out here.
No, wait, hold on. Wait, because hold on.
And he's sideways.
Yeah, we ain't doing that tonight.
Hold on, wait. Not Dr. B with the spice, right? Coming in hot. I'm here for
light
it.
Spice too. She slid that
Right,
over.
light
Where
spice.
did you get that history from? I want to know.
So hold on 1 second, right? 1 second before we give it to Dr. B. Just to be clear, she said, Sean asked, well, she said, we historically leave the woman and the child. We historically leave.
She ain't dying for that.
But what I will say is, and even though there's some truth to that, but that's not it as a whole, right? We don't want to go. We can if we choose to go all the way back
Looks
to.
like you're leaning,
right?
Broadway.
No, what I'm
Like
saying, I got you. I'm gonna straighten up right now. What I'm saying is kids when they get older, what do they traditionally do? They leave the house. Not saying that they leave the relationship between the mother and the father, but just saying they grow older, they get their own situation, they get and have their own family. So traditionally, kids get older, they leave the house and go out to find their own, right? Such as we all have done. But now on the other side to it, when it comes to fathers, I think that fathers we tend to be there and be down for those, and I'm not saying every man, but the good men, right? Back to that. We tend to stay down for those that stay down for us, but sometimes, like the young lady said, be a lot of cackling, a lot of no peace when dude comes home. It'd be a lot of mess, and it's just like I got to deal with all of this over here. I shouldn't have to deal with this too in my house. I think Sean was going to say something.
Man, historically, Dr. B, I'm not
Here we go with the
questioning some of
history.
your points. Historically, we have failed in a lot of areas,
Absolutely.
but leaving women abandoned and out. No, that's not entirely true. Historically, we can go and fight otherwise. Historically, we were envious and trying to be like the other man, and that was where we failed. Often, we chased the dream of being accepted instead of appreciating what we have, and now y'all are following suit.
Very true.
And y'all are chasing the dreams to be what we were and be accepted in the same way. And it failed us, and it's going to fail you, is what we're trying to let you know.
Well, here's the point that I was making because y'all went way out the window, and I respect that that
We
offer,
normally do,
Sean.
Doc.
We normally just go left.
I mean, you said it very definitively.
Right.
You said it very definitively and extremely.
Right. Exactly. And I'm gonna double down on it. So just give me a second.
Hey!
So here's the deal. here's the deal. Is that I'm not saying that all men, because I didn't say all.
Sure.
I'm saying that there has been a select few of men who have left their families, right? And for women like myself, I witnessed that. So in my decision making as an adult, I want to be extra careful that I don't create another family that's absent of the male figure, right? But you asked a specific question, which is why does the woman protect the house? Well, that's our nature, right? That's our nature. That is inherently, in my opinion, one of the duties of us as women is to protect home and to protect the children that we bear. Now, I'm not saying that all black men are absentee fathers, and I want to be clear about that. But what I'm saying is that enough of us have seen that happen before that we will indeed protect our children before we protect our men. And I'm not saying that that's right, but I'm saying it has some validity if that is the experience that you've seen and experienced.
Right. I seen it, experienced it, and I'm saying it's wrong directly to you women who are doing it. You protecting your house, part of your house is the man of your house. And if you're going to lean and stand on that protection, then stand and protect your man.
Well,
I have to agree.
show that you're there. Just stay there.
Of
That's
Well,
that's
well, well, well,
that's
well, well, well,
stay
so,
there.
so, so, so here's the thing with this, right? Hold
Stay
on,
there.
hold on, check this out, right? I said something, and Shantae said something, right? I said, you guys probably remember more than me because I'm here producing, right? But because one thing is happening over here doesn't make it right for this to happen over there, right? So because a man may have left your household 7, 8, 9, 10 times, right? And you made a mistake, right? Doesn't mean that when you get the next man that you should, because you said earlier, Doc, right? Just making sure you said we have to forgot it that fast.
Partner better.
We have to partner better. We have to choose
Exactly.
better. We have to.
Right.
So if the women are choosing these men, right? You chose this man and he left for whatever reason. Doesn't some of that onus fall on the young lady that the man left from? It just can't always be on the man. I'm not saying that because the reverse is true too, right? But I'm just saying to that point that you made a moment ago, it would have to be the same way in reverse because you chose him.
Right.
You
I'm
can't.
agreeing with that.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with that. But we have to also respect the fact that just because you make a wise decision in who you partner with, it doesn't negate the fact that people change. We all change and evolve. And
True.
sometimes that evolution as a man or a woman means that I'm not interested in this relationship anymore, even when we bear children together. And that could be a fact as well. But my point is that he asked the question, why do women sometimes protect the children over the man? And I'm just putting forth on the table. It could be that men some men in our history have shown that their responsibility is not something that they're interested in bearing. So, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that it happens and I can understand.
Well, okay, but I
Really quick, Sean, before I forget this thought, right? We do have to be responsible about the person that we lay with, right? We absolutely do. Then I forgot the thought. Go ahead, Sean. I thought I could bring it back. Go ahead, Sean. Sean, are you by your mic? He must be muted up. You're muted. We can't hear you. There you go. All right, we gonna come back to you. There you go. You there, Sean?
yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, I forgot a phone call. Uh, Only thing that I was saying, and Dr. B, you have very valid points. But that to me sounds like a lot of women who have been traumatized. And I'll use my mother as an example because we had these conversations directly and not to make it personal. She made a choice of a father that was disappointing. And I understand her perspective and her choosing for whatever reason. She was naive to my father, and I don't blame her on his disappointing ways. But what
Sure.
happened what was that?
No, I was saying sure.
Oh, okay. And what happened in addition to that is as he grew up, I met, he left when I was 6 months old. They separated. They got married, they separated. And what she is reflecting on are her pains and things and experiences that he put her through. And she never badmouthed him. She never said nothing negative about him. But her whole perspective on men in general and not being able to trust men wound up growing into my adulthood. And who I met when I was shipped to my father at 14 years old was the man who she never got a chance to meet. The man who took on the responsibility of taking me in at 14 when he did not have to. Now, I don't negate anything she did because she had me for 14 years plus, and she did all of the things and did what mothers do. But at the same time, doing what mothers do is not subjected to only doing it for their children. We're talking about a family. That family structure is to endure some of the discomforts outside of very significant abuse, to endure some of that discomfort for their children so that their children can prosper, seeing that that was a decision that the two collectively made to have.
I don't want to belabor this point too much, but here's the point that I want to make. First of all, thank you for sharing that personal story. Um, and hopefully people have found healing that were involved in that story. Women are tasked with a lot as it relates to relationships, especially rearing a child. Now, I'm not a mother, but what I have studied extensively is just trauma because I had to overcome my own, right? From sleeping in parks as a teenager, putting myself through school, and eventually becoming the first and youngest doctor in my family. I had to overcome a lot, right? Trauma is not just, and this is trauma to have a child and not to have that child's father around, and to task that woman with raising him or her to be an adult, right? That is a difficult thing to do because you're asking her to put aside her pain and to raise something. First of all, 50% of that child is the man that's gone, right? And God forbid the child looks like the father, right? Because some of y'all got some strong genes, okay? But this is a difficult task. Trauma is not just an emotional thing; it's psychological, right? And some studies have even suggested that it's neurological, right? Even affecting stuff like epigenetics and stuff. So when this child is traumatized, she now births another child that's already traumatized without even having experiences in this world. So I'm not putting women and not holding them accountable to their decisions, but we have to also understand that when a woman is a mother, that is a never ending duty. Even in the absence of her child, she is still nurturing and still not only with you on her mind as the child's father, but also that child. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It
I
really is
hear
a
you,
lot.
but it's a choice, and that's every woman doesn't do it. So let's not say that it's a woman's job and or responsibility, because a man has the responsibility as well to think of that woman as well as that family and do a lot of sacrifices as well. And just because you're a woman and a mother does not make you nurturing.
I'll let the conversation land on that. But well, hopefully you're not bearing children with a woman that's not nurturing. I mean, you know what I'm
I
I
saying?
think
mean,
Like,
so.
a
Here's the
lot of
thing.
us do. A
So
lot
wait.
of us do.
So wait.
I,
Hold on. One mic on broad. Wait. I think you guys both are being very are smoking it in different aspects, right? Because I agree with a little bit both what both of you guys are saying. And the moment that I start to say, well, she makes a great point, Sean comes to say this, and then I'll be like, well, he makes a great point, and vice versa, right? But let me say this. I think there's a lot of truth in what the both of you guys are saying, right? I.e., it's a tennis match, right? And it's about when that ball, which the kid represents the ball, when that ball goes over the net, what are you doing with it to get it, to put it in position to hit it back across that ball, right? I think across that net. I think a lot of times when we're talking about children and parents, a lot of times parents have kids way before they're ready. I would say, I don't know the numbers on it, but I would say probably 85% of the time. I know it's that much larger of a percent that parents have kids way before they're ready. And when I say way before they're ready, I don't mean financially. I mean mentally. I mean socially. I mean
emotionally.
emotionally. I just
A
mean
lot of us wasn't even supposed to be here. We don't even, they didn't even plan us.
right.
Let's just
So
wake that up.
right, wake that up, D. So because we weren't planned, we then go on to the next situation, and I think either Sean or Dr. B said, we go into the next situation, and now we carry that trauma into, we carry, you ever got promoted to the next grade because you got left back so much and they just had to promote you? You get what I'm saying? So You go into the next grade, you go into dealing with the next person, and you're not ready to deal with that next person. This situation expired. This is why they say what? Between each relationship, give a little break. Take a little time. Get to know yourself a little bit better so that you can be better equipped with not carrying as much baggage, because we all come with baggage. Some of us is physical, some of us is emotional. We all come with our own stuff. I think that when it comes to being responsible, and I think it was the collective that said something earlier, you got to be responsible. Like, good people should date good people. Unfortunately, it don't work that way, right? It don't work that way. Because I think around season 3, someone said, I think it was season 4 actually, Danny said, people that have babies should date people that have babies. People that don't have kids should date people that don't have kids. That's an ideal. That's in the idealistic world. It don't work that way, right? The sad part is when we start to carry trauma and hurt people that don't deserve to be hurt, or stick around and do things because you were hurt, right? That's not cool, right? Fun story. My lady took me this weekend to have my aura read, because I'm always popping off saying my karma is beautiful, my aura beautiful, and all this other stuff. And my lady did something real dope and thoughtful, and she took me to go get my aura read. I was like, oh, this is dope. Like, who has their aura read? I could bet my last dollar that nobody in here has probably had their aura read, right? And the young lady, she read my aura, right? And she had a lot of dope things to say. And, me being a Scorpio, it's just me to be suspicious at nature. And I said, but babe, but what about this? And I was just suspicious. The point of what I'm trying to say is that you can't have beautiful aura or karma if you're walking around causing people trauma. You can't. You got to be mindful of what you do unto others. Even if you don't believe in God, you got to believe in universal law. And what goes around comes back around. Some of us, if you really want to wake it up, we ain't getting the cards to shuffle in our favor, to be dealt in our favor, because we done did people wrong. So it's not too much of us that can blame it on somebody else, even though that's the easy thing to do. She did this, he did that. No, what you are receiving is a cosmic energy that's being returned from you from what you did to somebody. Hello? But easy off for Broadway. Easy off for Broadway. I'm going to spin it around and share the room. Matter of fact, this would be a good time to plug and get into this next topic. Live on Broadway podcast. Unique New York. Unique New York. I think sometimes in this space of, there's a lot of women and men, and I see men, when they meet somebody or something is going on, I feel like there be a sense of hate by way of men, right? But the same energy is reciprocated when it comes to women empowerment. I be feeling as though I'm going to call a lot of cap on women empowerment. I feel like you see a woman, yes, sis, go do your thing, sis. I feel like there be undertones of hate inside of women empowerment. What am I saying here? I'm saying that it's a good thing to love, support, and when it's genuine, right? But sometimes when there's moments where it's not genuine and it is forced, and you're only given a forced sense of support because you feel as though that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not a woman, but I sit back and I look, listen, and observe women, and I be like, you don't even like her. And I know you don't like her because of conversations, but now in public, you're being super supportive because she's a lady first. And I be confused by the forced sense of women empowerment. I be feeling like it's low-key hate sometimes, and it's not always bells and whistles. To that, you say what? Live on Broadway podcast. Storm, tap in with me, Queen. Storm, are you by your mic?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, Storm now.
Yeah, we got Storm up here. Storm, tap in with me. Is all women empowerment genuine and authentic, or is there undertones of hate sometimes?
So for it, I believe that would be
predicated on their comfort in their place, wherever it is, right? If a woman is comfortable in her skin and she's, she understands the work ethic that goes into winning and she understands how to apply it for herself, I don't think she would be in any way bothered in the presence of other women who can do the same thing. I feel like when women are in the presence of women and they can't figure out how that person may be where they are, they may not be applying themselves properly, then that's when the comparisons and the uncomfort in their space, right? And I'm gonna be honest, it happens with myself and it happens with all women, and it's all predicated on how comfortable that woman is in her skin in comparison to whoever is around her. Some women can be very comfortable in their skin at all times. Some practice self-awareness and they understand that everybody has space to win. But that's a tactic learned, right? Because we're taught to compete. That's what we're taught to do as women in our community. Are you prettier than her? Are you shaped better than her? Those things are always pointed out. They're always set at the forefront of a lot of conversations, and they're at a lot of tables. So I think for a woman to be comfortable, it's not say that women are like this or women like that. I think it's a little deeper than that.
She says she thinks it's a little deeper than that. And maybe I'm only seeing it with guy eyes, right? But
me too.
Go for it, collectors.
You know what I think it is? I think is that we are so programmed to be what she said. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're so programmed to be competing against each other that we don't know where to take that shit out on. You do that when you're playing soccer and somebody else is on the other team. That's when we compete. Now, when it's woman empowerment or black men empowerment, we ain't supposed to be competing. But we've been so separated. We've been so separated and so pitted against each other. Like, as soon as LeBron broke Kareem's record, here they go again with the Michael Jordan thing.
Comparison, right?
Just like how they pit Nas against Jay-Z on the best rapper thing. But go to country music. They all jamming. Go to they movements where, you know what I'm saying? Even, look, Black Lives Matter was their movement. Look how supportive and how successful that was. That wasn't a black movement. That was a white movement. Look how successful and peaceful that was. You know what I'm saying? But we are brainwashed to feel like we competition. Like, the gay girl across the street might get mad if she see your wife looking across the street for too long when she know your wife is happily married, because it's genetics. Once we stop thinking that we're our worst enemy, we'll start dealing with each other like we our best friend. All praise be to Allah.
Ooh. One mic. Let that breathe. Let that breathe. Let that breathe. Go for it, please. That was a bar. That was a bar. That was a bar.
Speak on it.
No pun intended. I didn't mean to drop the bomb on the back of or pray. Anyway, that just sounds crazy.
No, I'm good.
Okay,
That's how I closed it out.
My man. Cool. Tap in with us. Anybody. I mean, listen. At this point, I kind of, I hate to see it from guys' eyes sometimes, and sometimes I'll say to myself, I check myself like, yo, bro, are you seeing this from? Are you being objective inside your assessment, or are you just being God's eyes? In this situation, I'll be honest with you. I think I'm looking at it from God's eyes. But I also think that there's a lot of truth inside of the undertone, right? It's like you give somebody a compliment and you big them up. And I see what you said there, Trey. She said, I went to an empowerment event a few years ago, and my table roasted every woman that walked in there, shaking my head. I couldn't even eat my light bites in peace. They wanted to charge you $50 and sit across people with their rented purses and their lace fronts. Nope, I'm good. I'll empower my current circles. I'm here for it. Right?
Man,
like how you going to empower somebody, then talk about them? That's cap. It's not real. But hey girl, hey boo, and then you give them the once over. You give them the look up, and then when she leaves, you go, why she got on those shoes, girl? Like, what are you doing, sis? How you ain't fake empowering you? Like, anyway, go for it.
Well, Broadway. That mentality isn't just in women to women; it's also women to men, and that's where we have a lot of discontent and a lot of division within us. And when I said earlier, a good man is somebody who's honest. That's the same that applies to a good woman. And you're not honest when you're sitting there talking about somebody behind their back, gossiping about them while you're smiling in their face, and yet you calling yourself real, uplifted, powerful, and all of those other things that do not apply to you.
Wake it up.
Because it comes across with, since we on the woman empowerment ride right now, we trauma bonding on that. It comes across like sometimes when you hear like a group of women start to get to talking, and you like, all right, so if all of these women are on the same team, right? They all on the same team, and they all, keeping it tight. They're not giving it up to not any old body. They protecting their spiritual powers and their chakras and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then that must mean that the women that the guys are sleeping with are all single side chicks that's single, right? That's what that means. Like they the outliers, like that are off to the side just chilling, like doing their own thing, or the woman empowerment thing got a flaw in it. Like what's going on?
I don't totally understand. I don't totally understand the question.
What I'm saying is, women that sleep with men that know they got a woman. That's what I'm saying, right? Well, what happened to the woman empowerment when those situations come? And I said, well, maybe those ones, the ones that are doing that are the outliers. They're the ones that they're not part of the woman empowerment, but they stepped out to the side and they was like, nah, we doing what we want to do.
I feel like
so just to be clear, you're saying where's the woman empowerment when you sleeping with other women? I mean other women, men, right? Where's that empowerment?
These nuts in your mouth,
right? Like where's that's a bar. I'm very interested to see where this conversation goes. How y'all respond to that?
I mean, clearly, I mean, you use the perfect word, DWI. They're outliers. They're not. You know what I'm saying? They're not, adhering to, the girl code. And I find that those who are in that group, they're usually the ones that are waiting for the scraps. I like the ones who are waiting on the outskirts for something to drop in their lap. So I think DWI used the correct term, outliers. I feel like, I'm a feminist myself, so I feel like anyone who professes to be empowering women does not go around sleeping with other women's men. Yeah.
Let me say this on the back of that, Angel, right? Real quick, Sean. I think too, it's real easy. It's like beef, right? Dudes be the toughest dudes. They'll practice in the mirror how they throw their hands. They'll practice what they gonna say in the situation. They'll dumb it down. They'll go through training, boxing, taekwondo, but then when it's real, when the situation is real and you're confronted with that man or that woman that you got a man or a woman and she's bad and he's very attractive and you confronted with that situation, how you really hold up? I think it was Tyson that said everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Right? Everybody got a plan. So are you really Are you really loyal? Are you really going to stay down? Are you really empowering? Are you really going to stay down until you come up when in the face of temptation? Right? Because everybody else is talking about the girl, how Trey said, everybody else is talking about the girl that got on the bad shoes or whatever the case may be, right? So you feel empowered to trauma bond with them, but you really want to be nice, but you want to fit in, right? Because you don't know nobody here in this situation. So imagine if Trey would have started bad mouthing and talk. That's easy to get sucked into the trauma bonding because you want to feel a part of something. Right? Let me tell you something. Just because somebody, and I don't know who I'm speaking to, YouTube tap in with us. Just because somebody is sharing their trauma with you doesn't mean that you have to share your trauma with them.
Wake that up. That's a ball.
Wow.
Sometimes we get caught up inside of they're letting me in. listen, they're telling me things. Let me share with them too. No, right now is not the moment for you to do that. Now is the time for you to look, listen, and observe and let them reveal who they are to you. Sometimes we get caught up in doing too much too soon. It's okay to just sit and be cute on mute, how D said earlier. And when you feel like we spoke about earlier about the 3 months in sex, right? Let's use that same principle and apply it to divulging too much information. Right now is not the time for that. Right now is the time to sit cute on mute and just look, listen, and observe and see who that person is. Because a lot of times, how some of the ladies brought up when we spoke about the first topic, 30 plus children, all that, childish, that thing. Sometimes, and I think Benny woke it up and said, sometimes people will reveal that they not who they pretend to be. So sometimes we got to sit cute on mute and just, when you feel like it's time, not when they're trauma bonding, because let me tell you this, sometimes there's a lot of you guys that start revealing too much, and the person that, because somebody is telling you something, but they telling you somebody whole other testimony. That's not their testimony. They're lying to you so that you can get to tell them something about you, and then they can use it against you. What are we talking about? Some of y'all be being manipulated. Women be manipulating women. Men be manipulating men. But when y'all ready to wake it up and have the honest conversation, we'll have it. Until then, I'll sit cute on mute. I yield my mic.
Woo, all right, bro. You definitely was touching on a lot of things, and so did the ladies. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on,
I need some water,
is the fact that a lot of women empower movement, you're basically just mimicking what us black men have done. And unfortunately, what we did is we were being envious of the white man.
Wake
And
it
now
up.
you're being envious of the man. And really, it failed us and it's failing you guys. And the reason why I say that is because just the example that we was just using at the table, that's what men did. They tore each other down. And now all you are is a reflection doing the same exact thing. And you're calling yourself empowered while doing exactly what we did. That failed us. We
Wow.
realized it failed us.
Wow.
Why are you doing what failed us, mimicking us, trying to be like us, when in fact it failed?
Come on now. Come
Okay,
on
so
now.
wait. Hold up. So you are,
Come
ooh,
on
child.
now.
So you're saying that you're trying to say. So for me, when we have to be very clear, because what empowerment are you talking about? Women's empowerment? You talking about white women's empowerment movement? Because we clearly not talking about black and brown women.
Okay,
When you
I'm
talk about
speaking about
mimicking, you
absolutely.
talking
I'm
about.
talking about black and brown women. Absolutely.
So
Let me
But
you're
go ahead
saying
with your
that
question.
wait. Hold on. Oh, empowerment. I'm
it's not
looking
a
at the
question.
definition. Authority or power given to someone to do something. You're empowering, you're encouraging, you're promoting, you're telling them, hey, you look beautiful. But in your head, when they walk away, you're like, why would she put that together? But continue on, Angel, my fault, Queen.
Okay, so
That's
my
that angel
empowerment.
line.
Let me cool my jets, because I don't know Sean. I'm not gonna take it personal. So I know the women empowerment movements that I'm a part of. I'm a domestic violence advocate. I'm a spiritual feminist. I'm not gonna break that down. But my feminism and my activism and my empowerment has nothing to do, is not defined by what men do or do not do. Period. Because I wouldn't be in this situation if I was dependent on what you did. Because if y'all were leading and things were being covered, then I would have no need to be empowered. But if we were going the way we were supposed to be going, we clearly are not.
Okay, well let
That's
me
And
that's
explain.
that's that's not true
Well,
though, Angel.
that's not true. Let me
wait, no, wait,
explain.
I'm not finished.
Yeah,
I'm
let
not
her let,
finished.
let her
Go ahead.
cook. Let her cook. My fault.
Let me. And I'm saying in general, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking, and I can't say all men across the board. But to me, it is a slight and it's an insult to say that the movement that our mothers, that our ancestors birthed, I'm talking about midwives, I'm talking about women who marched. That's the type of empowerment. So maybe I'm talking about a different type of
Yeah, I think
empowerment before I go off. Yeah, before
yeah.
I go off. Yeah. Cause but it's please let us be clear, because as black and brown women, it is offensive to me, if unless we're talking about something else, to say that what we have only is legitimized by what you had. That's all.
No, no,
I
no,
just
no.
want to
Wait,
be
wait, wait.
clear
Hold
Well,
on
on,
that.
first
Sean.
off,
Hold on, Sean. Hold on,
let,
Sean.
let me respond.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. First off, I'm not legitimizing it one way or the other. I'm actually comparing it. With the sacrifices and things that you went through because of you know, there's several reasons why you went through it. We went through as well as men, black men versus white men, and the position that you were in is a position that we were in, and what we fought for to be part of and to be equal and all of the things that you have fought for, we have already fought for. And the reason why I said it failed is because we had a lot of empowerment when we were segregated, because we had no choice but to have it and rely on ourselves, and but we weren't satisfied with that. We wanted what was on the other side. We wasn't satisfied with what we had. And the reflection that I'm referring to is the same movement that you're describing and that has happened. Is the same movement that we did that failed us.
Well, hold on. Let me just say.
Go ahead. Yeah, go
Let me
ahead.
just say this one thing, right? I think in regards to empowering, I think when forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead, Angel. Go for it,
No,
King.
I'm just saying, because it's you know, you're treading this line, you know, where you're saying, what I'm saying is, what I heard you say was that our movement, right,
Oh,
or women's empowerment. Go ahead,
I'm
say
sorry.
it. Go ahead, go for it.
I remember. Thank you, Angel. Men throughout centuries, right? Women, you guys have followed our lead, and this is what I took from what Sean said. Maybe you took something different, and maybe what you're saying is what he's saying. But this is what I took from what he's saying. Traditionally and through centuries, women, you guys have followed our lead, right? You guys have followed our lead. Let me fast forward to present times, right? A lot of men have misused money, right, for power and ruled their household by being the breadwinner, right? Now you have some women that do the same thing, right? Do the same thing, emasculate men because they're making more money than men. But if you seen that didn't work by way of men doing it, why would you come back and do the same thing? This is what I took from what Sean said. This is not my original thought. All I'm saying is if you see that we did something and these was our area of opportunities and where we could have done better and performed better, why would you then come back and do the same thing? At least that's what I took from what Sean was saying.
I don't think that.
Is that what Sean said before we give it to D? I'm sorry.
That's what I got for the two.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
well, here's my
I
rebuttal. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
I'll be real quick. I think that whole process and that part of history, it just gets looked at it because across the world, women didn't have no rights. So black
Very
women,
true.
black women, white women, Arabic women, whatever women just didn't have nothing. There's still some women that got no rights, right? But I think it got looked at as a competition. And the black men was hanging from trees, and they did what they did to us. And then the women had to step up and run things. And then, fast forward, they got into a position where they got money. And whatever the shortcomings of the drugs and whatever that the men fell victim into, now there are some women that will use that, as you said, Broadway, and do the same thing. And I don't think they look at it like that when it's being done. But that's the only reason why the black man had power outside of being stronger than them, is because they was able to make money and the woman couldn't. It wasn't that the woman was
Very
less
true.
than as a human being. I think that's the way I look back at history. But I don't
I
know
agree with that.
if some women actually look at it from that perspective, because they're women. They're looking at it like how
And
how the other women
yeah,
are
and
explaining
Dr.
it.
B, before you get through, I just want to really elaborate. And my point being is that the women's didn't have rights the same way black men didn't have rights. We fought for those rights, and we wanted the right to be part of. We wanted the right to be equal. Every right that you fought for and you got is the same exact thing that we fought for and we got. We got intoxicated with the power. Y'all are getting intoxicated with the power.
Woo, child, please
I
go,
would
Dr.
just
B.
beg, I'm begging to differ, and I'm not gonna 100% disagree with some of the things that's being said, but you know, the idea that somehow this women empowerment movement that you guys are putting in quotation marks is really happening, actually. You know what I mean? So we can't say that golf is a bad sport just because everybody can't hit a hole in one, right? Now, are there going to be some bad apples? Yeah, we're all human beings. Everybody's not going to be upstanding. So it happens, undoubtedly. So I'm not disagreeing with that. But I think the main difference between the movement that you guys had going on, and if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it happened early 90s, mid 90s. I'm not sure, I was a kid, but around that
No,
time.
no, no, no. Way earlier. Way earlier.
Okay, I was speaking about the Million Man March. So the other movements that you guys had. My point is that we have a different starting point, right? And the difference is that we are more educated. We are in corporate America. So when we do get together, I have relationships with judges, lawyers, other doctors. So when we get together, it's a different type of movement because not only are we able to put our energy together, we can now put our economics together, put our experiences together, and we can move forward a little bit more collectively and perhaps even do a little bit more. But here's the other deal that I want to make to black men because you guys make it seem like black women empowerment is against you guys. We're doing this because we want to be better for you guys.
Please wake that up, Mama.
That's
Thank
how the
you.
other women make us
But
feel.
that's
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 not.
not but that's not how it comes across. And
Whoa,
let's be clear on that. Let's
Yeah,
let's
but
be
wait,
coming
whoa,
from
whoa,
clear.
whoa, whoa,
yeah,
hold
Let's
on,
be
whoa,
hold a
whoa, whoa,
second,
hold
clear.
on. One
Sean.
mic, one
Hold a
mic, one
second.
mic. She said something, and I want that to breathe because she said women empowerment is not against us, it's for us. That's the bar. And I
Ooh,
felt that. I felt that.
ooh, ooh. And I felt
Pause.
it as well. Men said the same thing. We said it was for y'all, and we got intoxicated with the power, and we let the ball drop. And that's what y'all are doing right now.
We aren't doing that though. Tell me the proof that you have of that.
Okay,
And here's
I will. Let me answer that. The proof is the disconnect in the family structure that is going on and consisting that is being embodied by the movement.
no, that's you guys. That's you.
Hmm?
Here's
Explain it.
no. And I
Explain
am
it.
going to thank you, and I will. So here's the deal. Men for many years have always been able to use money as a leverage for women, right? You never had to worry about your women going anywhere or doing anything because we didn't have rights, we didn't have earning potential. A lot of times we didn't even have education, right? And just to speak about my own lineage, my maternal grandmother couldn't read or write. My mother was the first one in her generation to even go to technical college, and I became a doctor. So we didn't even have the earning potential, right? So that's number one. And so when you this whole conversation, this whole mystery about somehow this educated, high earning black woman, it's getting out of hand, and it's really predicated by black men's ego. And if you just calm down for a second, just for a second, just relax for a second, right? First of all, we're better together, right? And even if you look at the numbers, right? And I'm not talking about clubhouse statistics or internet statistics. The truth is that educated people, when they merge together in marriage, they last longer, right? The child has a better opportunity. The child is reared in a more stable environment, right? So this whole pushback on what's happening right now is for the betterment of the black family. Why do you want a woman that can be leveraged by your money instead of us powering together and actually putting? Hold a second, Sean. Instead of us coming together.
Can I
Sean,
answer
Sean,
that?
Sean. No, but Sean, I'm saying this with love, and I'm trying to understand
Can I answer it?
what's your
Can I
rebuttal.
answer it? Okay,
Hold
can
on.
I
Just
answer it?
let's just let her
I'm
land her
I'm
point.
speaking in love as well. I'm speaking in
Let's
love as
just
well.
let's just let her land her point, and then you can
That's
respond,
why I
Sean.
said when she's finished, I want to answer it.
Right. So my point is that this empowerment movement is not against black men. Now, have there been some women who have been in places of being educated and high earning that has made it appear that way? I'm going to have to agree with you, right? But I can only speak for myself and the movements that I've been a part of as well as the ones that I'm leading. It is not against you guys, right? We are all trying to be better for each other. That should be the collective energy. So this whole pushback about this and that and this cattiness, let's not talk about the 10% and focus on the 90.
You speak my language, and so therefore I receive it well. But as you said, it's battling the man's ego. I agree with you, but the woman's pride is just equivalent to the man's ego. And your pride of all of the accolades and education that you're referring to, we had a lot of things financially. We had Black Wall Street before education. We without education. So to sit there and put it all on education that helped us get there. No, to your point, togetherness got us there. And it wasn't just education. Education is just to your pride, similar to how money is to our ego. So let's remove our pride and our ego and work together. That's what's missing right now. And it's unfortunate, but it's real. It's missing.
Let me say this.
But here's, I want to add this last part. Can I add this last part,
sure,
please?
Go for it.
So here's the deal, right? And I am agreeing with what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, Sean. But a woman, here's my biggest problem, right? Because a lot of women in my family are married and have been married for many, many years. In fact, for me to be single at my age is, they're like, what's going on with you, okay? But but here's the deal, right? A lot of the women from back in the day, I'm not talking about current day marriages, they were unhappy because their lives were unfulfilled, right? So I'm not saying education is everything, but I met far more women who desired to get a formal education without the opportunity than women who have a formal education and somehow regret it. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying that education is everything. What I am saying is that it provides opportunity. And aside from opportunity, it provides exposure, right? Aside from exposure, it provides experience. And all of those things help build a black family and make us more of an asset to you as a black man than somehow this enemy that we've been made out to be. And that's my point.
Okay.
No, but
Well,
can
again,
whoa. Great points. Great points. I want to open it up for everybody. I actually have something I want to say, but I yield to Storm because I see you off your mic, Storm. And then I thought I see you, Bambi. Tap in with us, Storm.
I'm not going to be long. That was just well said.
Very well
said. That was
said.
just well said.
Well said. And I'll say, get my little shout out there and keep it moving. I agree. I don't personally think that women empowerment is against men. I definitely do not think that. I agree with that notion of, you guys and doing what you need to do only helps us as a family and in a certain togetherness. I support that and I'm here for it. My whole plight is I be feeling like some of it be cap. I feel like men sometimes. Men be hating on men, and they be like, I see you with your little job, King. Why you got to put little before little job? I see you with your little thing. Nah, that's hate, King. Why you got to put little before it? You know what I'm saying? So I be feeling like sister when chicks be like, yeah, because I'm a woman before anything. I thought this was going to be a comedic topic before we got out of here. But I see that there's a serious tone to it, and I'm rolling with it, because sometimes there's truth. Sometimes we come to the ball court just to practice, right? But then we find ourselves in a serious game, in a serious match, right? So I'll be here for the chucking and jiving and the high-fiving, but you guys tap in and you go somewhere with it, and I love where you go with it. I want to tap in. I'm going to throw it to the collectors. then I'm coming to you, Bambi. Tap in with me, collectors.
I got a couple of things to say.
Yes, sir.
Me personally, my personal opinion, first of all, it shows by you just dropped the question, because the question you dropped was not what we building on. The question you dropped straight up turned the men against the women. The women are, because it started on why do women throw shade towards other women that are involved in women empowerment. And it has went to where these women are saying, oh, women empowerment is about a woman being better for a man. If that's the case, then it need to be dubbed out. It need to be phased out, and we need another plan. You know why? Because the police department was built to protect and serve. The jails were built to correct, but none of them do the same, because these women out here, just like these young men out here, are getting worse. They're not getting better. So what are these programs and these things doing? My next build is, if we're going to do something, number one, let's do it under our flag. Because all these flags lead back to who? They don't lead back to us. It's a whole bunch of people in another room collecting the money, collecting the benefits, playing with us because they know that we are the biggest tool to gain financial benefit from and the easiest nation to control. We doing this all under other flags. When you go in these rooms and you start going into the back room and you find out who's running these programs, you think he's gonna be Broadway complexion and he Yokovich complexion. He George Bush complexion. So how is he in the back of some woman empowerment that got to do with, us? So I feel like that needs to be phased out. And if we're going to do empowerment, we need unity. So brothers and sisters need to be working together. Forget all that black men empowerment. Forget all that woman empowerment over here. Let's bring it under one roof. And then when we got it under one roof about us and about these babies, then we start branching out and we start doing this and we start doing that. But it's a proven fact that all this stuff that we talking about, this empowerment, you got girls coming out to my FREE, a whole bunch of pregnant girls in a video.
Wake it up.
Listen, I'm from the streets, but I'm not a street nigga. I've been outside my whole life. I be in the roughest parts of this motherfucking city. When I seen that, I knew shit done changed on a whole nother level. You got little girls in the video pregnant, jumping around, talking about FREE, fuck nigga, freak. And you think these women, do you think these programs out here is helping? These programs out here is robbing us, stealing our attention, stealing our money, stealing our motivation. We need pure leaders. We need our leaders under our flag, and they gotta be pure. All praise be to Allah.
All praise be to
Wow.
Who was next? Who did you say was next, bro?
I'm gonna throw it to Bambi. Greetings, Bambi. How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
Happy New Year's to you, Quay. It's a lot going on. New Year. Go for it.
I feel like women empowerment comes in the way of men's natural state, where they would prefer women to say it politely, be below them, work for, stay at home, take care of them, or even if they work, to just be under the direction of their man. And I feel like that's men's natural preference for a woman in their life. And I feel like men don't enjoy, having women having a lot of freedom. And I feel like the women empowerment movement threatens a man's, not all men feel that way, but a lot of them, their natural need to protect and provide.
Go outside. I want to see you all day anyway, Debbie. You can go outside. It's cool.
I mean, absolutely. We I'm not against you being free. And it's just, we were free as well. And it did not help the unit that we keep on talking about. We're trying to help. If in fact you're doing it for us, who leads the situation when in fact it's done? Is it you or is it him? And that's something that we never speak on, but you want it and he wants it. That's where the divide comes from. And you're not willing to release it because you fought for it. He's not willing to release it because he fought for it. And it becomes a really issue between our family, and it causes division. But who we're really not fighting is the person who's really in control, which is neither one of us.
Wow.
Let me say something on that thing. All right. So when I hear certain women say that men want the woman to be under them, and then you hear some other women, you say, you want to lead the household, you want to stay at home, or you want to go outside and work, and they're like, no, the man's supposed to take care of that. Like there's certain, I get mixed. It's like mixed reviews on that. Some women want it, some women don't. The standard was like that because of the way that the racism and all that was. Black people didn't come from Africa and just make up these rules. In Africa, it was whatever the structure was. I'm not from Africa. Benoit maybe could tell y'all, but there's a family structure, but it's not. Benoit. It's not as like we got all this power. We want the woman to stay home. Woman, y'all couldn't do nothing back in those days. Y'all couldn't do nothing. We was out there getting whipped and hung from trees and all that. And y'all was being raped and enslaved inside the house and all that. And that's what it was. Now it's not so. So now y'all coming up, and we wasn't. And I'm speaking not too much on the we. I don't think the men was all destined to just keep y'all under their foot. Like I don't think that it was all like that. I think it was made like that because that's how the other white men were treating their women, but I don't think that we wanted it to be like that. We were just copying like what Sean just said. We were just playing copycat, and now we're at the point where things are different. And if what the doc said is true, and it's all supposed to be for us, then all of these conversations that are being had right now are being had wrong, because the end outcome doesn't sound like it's, I don't want a 50-50 dude, or I don't want, he got to have X, Y, and Z, or he got to lead, provide, and provision. All these words they come up with. And I'm like, yeah, but what happens if you got a job and you was in a better position to make 200,000 and he can only make 75 or 80. Does that make him less of a man because somebody's dollar amount that they putting that they created and they made for a job? Like, I don't feel like that. I feel like the way that the world is too much of that. Like, it's way too much of that. And I just feel like we gotta ask ourselves the right questions to get the right answers. We can't just expect the answer, oh, well, we want to be like this, and men, y'all just don't want us to do nothing, because that is not true. Like, I don't think I ever tried to control a woman or felt a way if a woman made more than me in a situation, because look, if we together, then it's together, we good. But that's not the way that the world is set up right now. So I'll pause.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And there's a
Lot of
thin
great
line
points.
between control and guidance, and we don't often understand it. You really don't want, it's not about control that we're trying to give, we're trying to give guidance. And with that guidance comes understanding that you provide insight and you provide a lot of valuable tools to help that guidance move along, but you don't really want the guidance.
Well,
Let's be
see,
real.
to that, the guidance piece, right? It's very easy to misconstrue guidance for dictatorship, right? Some men are more hippopotamus than they are ballerinas, right? And what I mean by that is they lead with their bravado and they just throw around their weight and just do what they want to do with it and think that a woman is supposed to respond to that. No. You shouldn't respond to that. Would you respond to it? You get what I'm saying? It's more ballerina, less hippopotamus. Be more tactful, be more skillful, be more intentional with the words that you choose to say. And that's how you get somebody to do or say, hey, babe, I think we should do this. Oh, you think we should do this? All right, what are your reasons for why you think we should do that? And because these are my reasons for why I think we should do this, right? And it's going with the better idea, not going with what the man is saying. You get what I'm saying? So that's the way I lead my household. That's the way I head my household. I can't speak for anybody else. It's not about the best idea coming from, it's not about the idea coming from me. It's about the best idea. And a lot of times that be my lady. She got the best ideas. You get what I'm saying?
Agreed. Now,
and then you back it up, right?
And then I back it up, right?
Even if it's crazy.
In your household, does she rely and trust you enough that when she is coming up with it, that she understands you are going to embrace that?
Yes.
And exactly. But
even when it's
don't have that
even
trust.
when it's the other way around and
Right.
she's saying something and I say, nah, we're gonna do this. She'll go with the bad. If it's a bad idea, she gonna go with the bad idea because I said we're gonna go with the bad idea.
And can y'all live on that right there? That's the difference. Right now, that doesn't exist. And it's unfortunate. And that's what I advocate for. I don't care about a women's movement, man's movement. We had the civil rights movement. Y'all got the women's empowerment movement. The point is, where are we getting with it?
Yeah.
And we're not getting places and spaces with it except division and further divide. And if we don't see that, then we're blind.
Hold on, everybody mute up. With that being said, we found ourselves in final thoughts. A lot was shared tonight. And I think because a lot was shared tonight, I want to trouble you guys with the task. Giants alike that's watching on YouTube, that's checking out the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else podcasts are available. Right? Those that are underneath the sound of my voice, I trouble you with this one task and final thoughts. Giants, don't take this final thoughts for light. We spoke about a lot this evening. 30 plus. Who's childish enough to wait 33 months before having sex? Right? We spoke about these things, right? Is having a good man, what's having a good man worth to you? Right? I feel like women empowerment might be capped sometimes. We spoke about a lot. So I'll trouble you with this one task off the back of what Sean just stated. What are we doing to remedy this? How any of the things that we spoke on, final thoughts, everybody clear out. We running ISO on final thoughts. ISO means whoever's speaking, let them speak. Get your stuff off. Easy on the cursing. Get your stuff off. How do we remedy any of the issues? Pick one and then move on and let the next person pick the other. Okay? Respectfully. Tap in. One mic on.
Benoit.
On Benoit. Benoit, how do we remedy these issues that we spoke about this evening, Queen?
Okay, in regard to the 3-month situation, I say proper punani management prevents piss poor performance. God bless.
Oh, God!
See? That's why she wanted to go first.
We can go home. Let's go home on that one.
Start a room, start a class about that, Benoit. I'll come support.
No.
Why was I waiting for something deep, Why was I waiting for something deep?
Because she's Benoit, she always gives us her Erykah Badu-isms. But tonight she said, I am taking off the gloves. Okay, Benny.
I got a good one too.
Who can follow that though? Who?
Nah, I got something. I'm gonna go with the supporting the black family structure. I'm gonna go with men and women equally. Don't be so caught up with chasing the dollar to let that buy you your respect and your family respect. And I'll say that to say a garbage man or a teacher should not have to compete with a fashion designer or a rapper or a basketball player in terms of what is more value in life in terms of because it's a dollar amount. Because again, it's only so much money you need to raise your family. And if what is being said is true, the woman is holding it up, then a good man, I'm going to tie the good man in there, a good man working a good job, holding down the family and should not be shunned or made feel less than because he's not equally making the same amount of money. Because again, that takes us back to what Sean said about how it was back in the days about men making more than women. And now if you're throwing that back in my face, then I'm going to just be like the guy trying to get it on the first night and not trying to be waiting for 3 months. And then I'll tie it all in together. There you go.
Wake that up. Clip. I appreciate that, D. One mic on.
Well, I was just here for the very end, but I would just say good things come from good communication. So everyone, communicate with your loved ones.
I love it. Thank you for that, Bambi. Thank you for that. Allison, I saw you come off your mic in attempt.
Yes. So if you want to get a good man, you have to be a good woman. And you have to stand in front of that. You have to be accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable and be intentional with every single thing that you do.
Yes, Lord.
You cannot require more than what you yourself can provide.
Wow. And let me say this too on the back of that final thought, right? When she says a good woman or a good man, right? Somebody said this earlier, and I want to wake it back up. Good is objective, right? It's circumstantial, right? You could be good by way of being with the Collectors or DWI or Angel, right? But for Broadway, you might not be good. So let's not classify with somebody else. Great. If the teacher gave you an A, don't think you're gonna come around this semester and I'm gonna give you an A and I'm a different professor, right? It's based upon of what I say that you are. If I feel like you're not good, I don't care about what the niggas in the hood said. I'm saying you're not good. God darn it. Anyway, easy off for Broadway. One mic on. Let's throw it to Storm.
Ooh, okay.
Go ahead, Angel.
No, I just want to say that women empowerment is not a necessity, is not a luxury, I should say, for Black and brown women. It's our very existence. It's deeper than, we're not trying to isolate our men. We're definitely trying to become better for our men. So it's not a luxury. It's not a game to us. It's definitely a life or death matter. So I take it seriously. And in order for us to be able to even come together, we need to heal as women first. So that's where I land.
Wow. I have something I want to say on the back of that, but I yield my mic to the room. Thank you for that, Angel. Where we at? Let's go to David. Oh, wait. Go ahead, Storm. Go for it, Storm.
So I just wanted to speak to the point of women being,
what's the remedy?
Women.
Whatever you're about to say, just give us the. Thank you, Queen.
The remedy of women being breadwinners, and I guess collecting more than their partner. When we return to femininity, it balances it out, right? And we allow his masculinity to have his space. Don't overtalk your man. It's not that we have a place, right? But it's always important to make him feel like you're okay with him being in the front. And it's always good to include him in decisions, even when you're paying the tab. It's important to make sure that he feels comfortable in his position.
When we return to our femininity, a man will say that last part. That was a bar.
He will. What did I say? He will walk in his masculine.
He will walk into his. Whoa. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all picking up what's happening. Because that's the essence of accountability. Just worry about you. Let's not worry about what everybody else is doing and their shortcomings. Let's just worry about us. Let me worry about being an alpha, king, head of the household, protector, provider, yada, yada, yada. Regardless of what she's doing. And once I'm doing that and I'm focusing on doing that, she'll do what she needs to do. Go ahead, Queen. I love every part of that, though, Storm. Tap in with us. One mic on whom?
I'll go. I just want to say these things. A lot of times people want this and want that in a relationship, but I think it goes back to accountability. And you have to ask yourself, what have you done to deserve someone amazing coming into your life? Remember, every positive change in your life begins with clear decisions that you're going to either do something or stop doing something. Next, people jumping into situations. Should I have sex 1 week into knowing a person, make them wait 90 months? And all these crazy kind of expectations instead of just enjoying the experience of getting to know one another. So just enjoy that. And finally, everything that settles is at the bottom. So don't settle. And I part.
I see what y'all doing. Y'all be listening to the pod and what everybody is saying. Y'all be writing down y'all little point of views because Tay came in hot right there. I love it, Tay. Shout out to you. One mic on whom? Tap in with us.
I'll go next if no one else is going. First of all, I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. This has been my first time having an opportunity to speak on your podcast, so thank you.
Thank you.
The conversation was really fruitful. I love the perspectives. But here's the parting words I want to have for women. Women, make your money, first of all. Continue to make your money. Maintain your mental health. And may these men meet us at the top. So I love what the last speaker just said about settling. There's too much of that going on. So just continue to do your thing, And next Women Empowerment Movement, guys, make sure you invite Broadway and Sean so that they can see that we're here talking about productive things, okay?
I love it.
And they bringing me too, because I got to see it myself.
Talk about it, collective. I love it. Oh man. Final thoughts. Anybody before Broadway go and wrap up? Final thoughts? Go for it, David.
Yeah, do the work, do the shadow work on yourself. Where like the young lady said, the mental health. Yes, I admire what you said, bro. As a man, you was like, I had my aura checked with your partner, and I think that more of us got to do that. But know yourself, know your worth, and communicate and move forward. And I want to leave y'all with that. Thank you.
Wow, collectors, what's happening with you, King? Tap in with me.
I'm here, King. I'm here for the unity. I'm here for uniting, and I'm here for getting back to what y'all was talking about before, as far as letting the women lay totally in their femininity, and then we can lay in our masculinity, our masculine side. You know what I'm saying? And definitely not paying attention to what's going on out here. I've been doing this for like the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've been really going through my Instagram and unfollowing a lot of things, whether I like an artist or not. It's about what he's doing on his page. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to take certain shit in. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I really feel like that's important. Us getting back to the women, being real feminine. And if they feel like they can't be and their femininity with a dude that's not the dude for you if you that type of woman. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a private situation right now. She's a real lady, and I know that. You know what I'm saying? And I had dealt with her in the past, but I moved how I want to move.
Yeah.
Even knowing that she was a real lady. So now you know what I do? I open the car door for her. Because that's the kind of shit a real lady likes. You can't deal with people how you want to deal with them and think you're going to get results that you think you deserve. You got to deal with people. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with people correct. And you know, that's what a man does. I can't expect her to open the car door for me. That's some sissy shit.
Yeah.
You know? So we gotta, just like y'all said, get back to the women being the women, the men being the men. Unite that. I mean, it ain't hard to tell who the dominant race is out here, man. We gave all these people a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? But it all falls back to how Homegirl was talking earlier, and she was saying that education. That's all cool. That's all peace. But who we getting this education from, and what type of education they giving us?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because you see how far the education got us.
Wow.
You see how far their school education got us, their college education got us. Anybody in this room, I'm pretty sure the most important things y'all learned in your life that keep y'all civilized and happy, y'all did not learn that under their control. Y'all learned that under y'all studies. You know, so that's my thing. You know, the whole 30-day thing. I'll take that as what y'all said too. You can't bargain that. That's not bargainism. You know what I'm saying? Like, sex is good, but sex and emotional love does not keep you together. Sex, love, and faith keeps you together. You gotta put these in. You gotta put them shits all in the same pot. My sex with her, my faith in her, her business mind. You gotta put all those in the same pot. So negotiating something like sex for 30 days, man, that's not gonna get any woman anywhere. Besides a man showing you he can hold out till he get what he want and break the fuck out for 90 days or whatever, you know. So, you know, I'm here for the unity where, you know what I'm saying?
I'm here for that too, King.
Us doing that under our flag. All praise be to Allah.
I love it. Shout out to Aaron the Plug for dropping that badge. I appreciate the love, King. I appreciate the love. Shout out to my brother A for tapping in. Yes, sir. I appreciate the badge. Oh, man. Anybody else? Final thoughts before Broadway go? Because once I go, it's a wrap. Okay? Final thoughts. Go for it, King.
All right. First off, thank you for the platform. And ladies, thank you for your perspective. And men, thank you for your perspective. The one thing that I feel is that all of our perspectives are merely opinions, and we all have one, and they all stink. It's like an asshole. But the point being is that regardless of our opinions, let's get facts over feelings. And a lot of people are really going on what they feel as opposed to the facts. And again, women's are protecting and highlighting and emphasizing their pride, and men are protecting and emphasizing their egos. Let's put both of those things away and be humble with one another. Value each other. We are not valuing each other. We're talking about it, but we're not doing it. We are not valuing all of the attributes that women bring to men, and we are not valuing all of the attributes that men bring to women. Individually, we can be successful. Collectively, we can take over the world. Right now.
So how do we do that, though, right? We're looking for solutions. How do we value?
First off, we have to understand what to value. Right now, we value monetary over morality. And as long as we value monetary over morality, character will always be elusive to us. We will not be able to identify it. We have to really understand how to identify character. For example, men have to understand and be able to trust that a woman is not just after him for his money, even when she has her own. Women have to be able to trust and understand and recognize a man is not just after her for her panties and her good and her cookies. That we value more. But the unfortunate thing is that it's difficult because as much as we say it, the reality is a lot of women are wooed by men's money, and a lot of men are wooed by women's uh, cookies. So until we can get to the point of facing that truth,
Mm-hmm.
we won't have any resolutions because we're lying to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Thank you for that, Sean. Final thoughts on Broadway. I have questions. One day we're gonna have a conversation about where do women empowerment comes from, because I have a good idea and I think you guys will be able to really, really tap in on that. But that's for another topic, another day. I'll start from the top down, right? I think that it is childish to have a to sustain from sex if you feel a connection with somebody, right? I listened to what a lot of you guys offered us in the platform today, and even though there's a lot of validity in what you guys are saying, I feel as though, if you have a connection with someone, don't become. Sometimes we gotta unlearn some things to relearn some things, right? And what that simply means is some of the things we do this day in this time is because we were taught them. We don't really know why we do them, but if you ask us, they'll tell you it's because it's the right thing to do, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that. It just means that sometimes we recycle opinions and thoughts, whatever the case may be. I kind of high key feel as though you might be suffering from some type of mental illness if you think that someone's gonna be okay with you waiting 3 months, like knowingly, you know what I mean? Knowingly waiting 3 months, because that could become a bit manipulative. You moving in a situation where somebody is holding back the sex just because, and like Sean woke up earlier, they can leave you on day 91 after they have the sex, right? They could leave you on day 1 after having, you just don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So if you feel a connection on day 1, if you feel a connection on day 91, go for it. Be free, be liberal, just be mindful that, and be safe, right? Be safe. Don't just be giving it to anybody just because. That's not what I'm saying. What is having a good man worth to you? I'm not a woman, but I think that the worth of a good man is priceless, right? I think that we have to move inside the space of understanding our own self-worth. And once we start to understand our own self-worth, we'll be able to lend that of value to others. I can't lend you something if I don't know what it's worth, right? And not knowingly, at least. If I gave you $5 and I don't know the worth of the $5 and I give it to you, it doesn't count for much. But if I know my own worth and I acknowledge my own worth and I give it to you, then we can account for it to be something of value, right? And the way that we do that is by doing the work, right? Going to therapy, taking the time out, going for long walks by yourself. Put on your favorite music. Sometimes put on instrumentals maybe and just think about your day. Think about the people that's in it. Like Collectors Woke Up. I love that. Sometimes we gotta destroy and rebuild. Sometimes you gotta unfollow some of these people that we're following on social media. Sometimes with social media, that means let's not run to social media the first thing in the morning. Let's start our day. Let's start with positive information. Let's start with positive energy. Let's not look for that from outside sources and then be upset when we don't have a good day. We don't have a good day because we didn't start the day off right. Simply put, we be looking out when we need to look in, right? Right. Lastly, I'll say and conclude by saying, I said earlier, I feel like women empowerment might be a bit capped. I'm gonna walk some of that back. I don't think that it's intended cap. I don't think that it's intended fake love. I think that women, and I could be wrong inside this, y'all get in the comments because I'm not spinning the block again. I think women empowerment, some women empower women because they believe that that's what they're supposed to do, right? I think that some things we do as a whole, we do because we believe that we're supposed to do it. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing fine. I don't know you. Hey, have a good certain mannerisms and niceties we use and say. We just do it because we feel like it's the idea of being nice that we're supposed to implement, right? And when it comes to offering female empowering, I feel as though sometimes, yeah, it might be a bit of hate, but sometimes women just don't. Some women just don't know. It's just they do it because they're a woman. Right? They don't know. And I'm not saying all, but some women just don't know. And how do I know they don't know? Because how do you compliment somebody and talk about them behind their back? I have to quantify. They say the Bible says God looks after babies and fools, and you're not a baby, so you must be a fool. Fool somebody that don't know, or probably know and just look the other way. Anyway, I think tonight was a great conversation. It took many, we talked about many different things, and I feel as though, this is the way I want to move and operate in season 6. Solutions. You guys definitely offered a lot of dope solutions and how we can arrive to the same how we can arrive to the bottom line. Might be differently, but it doesn't take away from the value that we're ending up with. I like to send a special shout out to Dr. Brittany tonight. Thank you, Queen, for gracing us with your presence, your time, your energy. I want to jump off of that shout out and give another one to Allison and D. Shout out to you guys that actually, and everybody else too, that pull up religiously and support the platform and lend your point of views when it's toxic and when it's memorable moments, right? And y'all roll with us through the peaks and the valleys, right? We're doing something dope, and in this event space that we're developing. It's going to be a creative event space so that you can come and get what you want to get done. If it's content you want to create, I have 5,000 square feet for you guys to do so with, right? If you want to come do your photo shoots, if you want to record your podcast, if you want to have a wedding reception, whatever you want to do, we can accommodate you. We're going to be doing a grand opening. If you're in the New York tri-state area, feel free to tap in with us and tap in with the podcast and pull up, because we're going to be doing a lot of in-studio podcasts. That's going to be really dope. When you guys see the spot, you're going to understand what it is and what we're doing. I'll also wrap up by saying, excuse me, it's just a lot. I also wrap up by saying that I forgot my thought. I also wrap up by saying that, support is something that's free. Sometimes the support don't always look like something monetary, right? Sometimes the support looks like actually just sharing the word and just pulling up to see what's actually happening and not hating on something before you actually had a moment to be in the space of it, right? And that's not necessarily the event space. That's just necessarily the spaces that we occupy with one another, right? Going back to that subtle way of hating, female empowerment, woman empowerment, whatever the case may be. Oh, man, I'm very excited about season 6. I'm very excited about 2023. I send my blessings and give you guys the same energy that I did when we came into this space this evening. Shout out to Dr. Brittany. Shout out to Benawar. Shantae, I see you, Queen. Big Ace, not the little one. Sean, it's always a pleasure. Love that you're able to articulate your point of views rationally, King. David, you always come from a different point of view, and we love it nonetheless. Storm, you know the vibes. Queen, Terica, Trey, you know the vibes. My guy Collector, shout out to DWY for pulling up. And everybody else that joined us, Allison, you know the vibe. Big energy, big love. Live on Broadway podcast, season 6 is underway. It's cheaper to be yourself. Be giant. Pool. Clip.
Do you have relationship questions you need answered? Spicy topics? DM us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Have music, products, or an ad you want us to run? Email us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Be sure to tap in. Mondays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live on